because you always balance out the.
Well, I'm a rigorous epistemologist. That's why.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but even though it might seem like it's being taken over, sometimes I was thinking about this today, and I was thinking but having those crazy things there, but having someone there to really counter them, like have a hard counter for them, is actually pretty useful. I'm not saying we should do it all the time. I'm just saying that it's not like a it's not as I know I get tired of it too, but it's not
I'm an
like it's like a drain
empiricist.
on.
That's I'm not purposely trying to counter anything. I'm just trying to be empirical. Take
I
an
know, but it's
empirical approach.
good.
And my favorite fiction genre is the detective genre. And so I have read and watched more detective fiction than you can imagine. And I know at the start of every one, people throw out different theories and speculate, and then the whole story from there goes to narrowing down as to which one is actually the truth based on where the evidence leads. And so this reminds me of the beginning of a detective story where people are throwing out random theories, but it's not progressing to the actual any actual theory based on evidence. And so,
Sure.
like being a fan of detective fiction, I try to follow the evidence and narrow it down to which one of these stories is most likely. And people get stuck at the theory stage.
Yeah, they do. Granted,
So
I
we're
mean,
here
you
with
need a theory to even investigate it. But yeah, we're here with
a
Emerald.
what?
I said you do need a theory to investigate it, but still, I think that you're right. They get stuck at
Yeah,
the
but
stage.
my theories are suggested by the evidence. Like I take the objective data as a starting point and let those suggest theories. And I think some people their theories begin internally with their psychology and gets projected outward onto random data points. So we're here tonight with Chris and Emerald, and we're going to do dating night tonight, or at least try to, because Chris and I eventually want to, and Emerald too, if she wants to. I think he'd be great. Like take dating calls or relationship. If you're having relationship questions or problems, you have a whole panel here with experience.
That'd be
and
awesome.
we were starting out with dating disasters, and Emerald is kind of going through. I don't know if it's a disaster, but she was telling us about her recent dating experience and how that changed. And we were talking about if you had sensed the change before it happened.
Yeah, I sense the change because we went from talking every day on Snapchat and like regular texting to like 1 to 2 texts a day. So I like you immediately know something's up. And like you don't know the person well enough to have like that open line of communication in early dating to be like, hey, why are you slowing down your communication? So I wasn't able to have that conversation. So then naturally I was like, oh, this is about to end or something's about to happen. Even though I had all this hope and like I felt positive about it. And I thought he felt the same way. So I felt blindsided when he was like, yeah, I want to stay friends on Snapchat, but also I want to be by myself. Like, what is that? How do you interpret that? I just
What did
respected it.
what
And
did
it's
you
from
do?
like just noticing the communication pattern up to now.
Yeah, because I said, like, hey, I thought we were getting along and hanging out and getting to know one another. And I've been enjoying that process. But I noticed, like, you haven't been as responsive and stuff like that. And then he was like, oh, thank you for being open with me. But yeah, sorry I haven't communicated this to you, but I kind of just want to be by myself.
Hmm. Have you guys? What had you been talking about right before that? The communication was slowing down. Was there anything personal or anything shared or anything like that? Like,
No, he just started saying, like, sorry I haven't been responsive. I've been busy at work, but usually that's like an excuse that guys tend to use before they're about to drop out.
sure, sure.
So
I'm
this has
just
happened before.
trying to
This
help you
pattern.
identify the.
I've seen this pattern with other guys, yeah. And now in the digital age, you don't know how many people they're talking to
Mm.
or like what they're doing or like the context of anything.
I always assume I'm not the only person
I
they're
assume
talking.
that too. But we didn't have
What
that.
do you? Oh, go ahead.
I guess like I don't know, it just threw me off because like we were getting along, like he was opening up to me a little bit, and like telling me he's like here for me with the stuff with my grandpa, even though I didn't really tell him too much about that. He was just like, oh, I'm here for you because your grandpa's sick or whatever. And just like saying all this stuff. And that's when my gut kind of was like, something's off here. Like, why is he saying he's here for me so early on and like making almost like these fake promises? Because then he also told me, which I think I told you, Jeff, he was like, let's make a date list of all the dates you want to go on in the future. And that's where my gut was like, something's off.
Because that's how this started, too. He tried to go on a date with you and he kept canceling.
Yeah. And then he finally... Oh, another weird thing. That's another thing that happened. So I don't know if he started doing things to like impress me because... So he bought a new car. Like after our first date, he bought a new car and he wanted to like show off his new car. He also asked for my opinion on like the whole process of him buying a new car. So that seemed like a lot for just getting to know someone, but I didn't say anything. So I was like, my gut instinct was like, oh, this guy's trying to impress me. Then he got a new haircut. Then he bought a whole new wardrobe.
Well,
He was doing really...
After y'all started hanging out?
Yeah. He started doing really intense stuff. So I wonder if like he didn't communicate this, but I'm wondering if he didn't feel like good enough or something. That's the only thing I can speculate.
Oh, like his insecurity. Now, we should probably let the audience know he is a gamer nerd, like an extreme introvert gamer type.
He was doing a lot of extroverted type things though by doing all those things in a big cluster of things, buying a new wardrobe, things like that. He didn't ask you to like come with him shopping for clothes or anything like that?
No, he just kept asking like for my opinion on like what he should wear. It was like weird because I'm not the type to like take control of someone's life like that. Like I'm not that kind of person. I don't know if maybe in his previous dating situations they treated him like a Ken doll, because that's what it felt like to me.
Okay. Well, I mean, I don't know. I tend to be really worried with guys today. I'm really scared for my daughters because guys today are getting so poisoned by this red pill bullshit.
Yeah.
You know.
What are you worried about? To me, the guys are the ones more worried about the women and their ability to.
But whenever
reject.
they do get with women, they have the red pill thing teaches them to basically treat women like toys and throw them away when they're done with them.
That's what it feels like.
Right. So,
what I'm going through. Not to cut you off, sorry.
Is that red pill, or have guys always done that?
They have, but the red pill mentality encourages that as a positive thing. I think there was always an element of shame to it in the past, and the red pill guys basically pump up guys' egos to think, and especially gamer types that get introverted like that, they tend to like fall for that kind of bullshit. I mean, can I just ask, was there any physical intimacy with this guy?
No, we only kissed. Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
One kiss.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, because that sounds like
I held back on all physical intimacy after he bought the new car and like the new wardrobe. It felt like that red pill mentality, if I'm being honest.
So it might be that he felt like that you weren't showing enough interest physically, and that maybe that's what he was showing out for. He could have gotten the attention of another girl as well. Yeah. Because from doing all those same things, showing off to other girls, he could have been talking to somebody else. Most introvert guys usually aren't talking to multiple people. But then again,
or a new game may have come out. Have y'all checked the new releases and see what?
There have been a bunch of new games coming out. I do keep up with that.
But it did
the new
feel
Spider-Man came out, so
it kind of felt like he was like doing things to try to like obtain that physical intimacy from me without saying it, because I think he had some like secret agenda the entire time, and I didn't really pick up on it until he started buying a new car and all this other stuff.
Well,
like what kind of agenda would it be?
Like just to sleep with me and then move on to the next person, because that's the red pill movement. Like,
well, Chris, how are you going to fortify Juniper against these guys so that she'll either
I'm just hoping
be prepared in advance and know how to identify it, or able to extract herself early if it happens, if she notices?
I just keep saying I'm hoping they're gay, but
well,
it is scary because like,
see, I get along really well with
gay guys can do it too.
Really lesbian. Yeah, I know, but I mean,
are
but
women.
should they be lesbians? I'm saying I get along really well with lesbians. I could deal with that a lot better than douchebag bros. But yeah, I just show them as much attention and affection as I can. I try to make sure they feel seen, and they don't feel like they need to show out for attention and things like that.
Yeah.
With Clover, she's already kind of an introvert girl. She's really into theater stuff. She's a theater kid. She had a little period where she was a little bit too addicted to TikTok and stuff like that, and we tamped down that a little bit. And she's a good kid though. She's smart, and she's not. I do worry that she's very emotionally withdrawn when it comes to, but she's not with us. But I see it out. She's very shy when she's out with people, but still, she's on theater. She's had a star and role into things. That's really brought her out of her shell a lot. I don't know. I mean, I haven't raised a teenage girl before that, so I can't say that I'm an expert on it. But I just try to keep loving them as much as I can, and just being as there for them as I can be. I mean, it really sucks because she's turning 16 on Thursday, and I have to go to a doctor's appointment. So, but it is what it is. But yeah, I mean, I do think that is something that does concern me a lot these days about a lot of these guys, especially these introvert guys and stuff like that, are gamers, or they're kind of like shy or something like that. They get suckered into this Andrew Tate kind of bullshit thing,
Yeah, Andrew
where
Tate.
they think that that's what you're supposed to do. That's the only way you get a woman's respect, is by using them and shit like that. And so I think ultimately maybe you did the right thing. I mean, honestly, I don't know what would make me more skeptical. My daughter dating like a jock, or my daughter dating like some gamer kid. And I'm not sure which one would be worse. It just depends on.
And there's going to
what
be a
kind of
new
things-
trend by the time she gets older. Anyway, hey Nate, by the way, can y'all see my head? He says he can only see my neck. And well, you're only supposed to see my neck and head.
It's because you're in camo, dude. You're camouflage.
Oh,
It's a joke.
Yeah, it's a
Oh,
joke.
I can't see you because
I
you're
only
camouflage.
see everyone's neck and head. Well, I see shoulders, but upper
It's
torso.
because you're wearing camouflage. It's a joke.
What does that have to? What is he? I'm blending in with my wall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, you ever heard like there's
Because
like
I'm camouflaged.
I used to have a T-shirt that had camo on. It's like said something like you can't something anyway.
Oh.
It said something about not being able to see you on it. It was dumb. It was a shirt.
I'm
I got for like 13.
50-50 on getting jokes. Sometimes it takes me a while. I'm a little humor impaired.
It's okay.
We
I
watched True Detective tonight, so I wore my Louisiana gear.
Yeah, that
I can only
episode 4 is something else.
Yeah, to
Go
get back
ahead,
to the
Emma.
dating topic, I can only like speak from my own personal experience, but gamer dudes are definitely more dangerous. Because I kind of fell into that trap of like they're introverted and maybe more nerdy. I'd get along with them better, but I think they're more dangerous. Because this is like the 10th gamer dude that has like done something like this.
Why
This is
are you
actually
going
the
after
most
gamer dudes?
because they're
Well-
quiet and introverted and like sweet. But I think it's all an act.
They're
sometimes.
dangerous for people like us that want that intimacy and deep connection. My ex, the psychopath, was a gamer too, and he had a very restricted
Yeah.
range of intimacy.
They can
I've
just
been a
switch
gamer at
on
different
you.
points, but I've never a gamer dude though. So
I don't.
What'd you say,
I don't think I could date a gamer dude. Sorry, gamer dudes.
I still want a gamer dude. That's my problem.
You wanted? So I didn't realize you wanted one.
I mean, I don't know if I do because it's like I enjoyed getting to know him because it's like he would just play his game or whatever, and like I was learning a lot about Apex Legends, and like I was really like putting in the effort to get to know this dude. But I noticed, that was the other thing. So my favorite band is The National. I don't know if you've heard them, but they had like a
I love
new
the National.
album.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
them. Yeah.
I'm obsessed with them. The first red flag with this dude was I noticed how I put so much effort into like learning about Apex Legends and all his
But
hobbies.
he had no interest in the
No
National.
interest in the National and their new album.
Did you try
And-
playing Apex Legends?
No. Maybe I
mean,
should have done that.
Whenever it comes to
Would
gamer
that made a
guys,
difference?
the best thing you could do to really get past that red pill mentality. I think is trying to play the game with them, trying to actually showing the same enthusiasm for them. I know it sucks. Maybe if you're not into it, if you're not into games like Apex Legends, it's probably not
This
the
used to be
right guy for you.
faking it.
It's not, let's say, faking it. You can take interest. Like I've taken interest in things that girls I've dated that I wasn't interested in before that. I mean, even with Lindsay, like she was a major for sound and lighting design in college, and that's really what made me learn. Want to learn how to do sound engineering because I wanted to understand what she did, and I got really good at it. You know, I mean, like it's not going to happen with everybody. And somebody could be really into bird watching or something. I wouldn't probably be able to get into that. You know, like it would be really hard for me to fake like I like bird watching because I can just look at birds anytime I don't really see the, you know.
Yeah,
right?
I get that.
But like, you know, if it's something that is kind of in your wheelhouse, and do you play games? Are you a gamer, Emerald?
I play what I call like cozy games, so like Sims and Stardew Valley, and like it's called Coffee Talk. This like sim game where you make people coffee. Yeah.
Lindsay plays Animal Crossing and
Animal Crossing
like
too.
Well, if you're into Animal Crossing, then, but if you like Nintendo stuff, you know, you could always use that as a good, because pretty much there isn't a gamer out there that doesn't like Mario, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, if you can get into Mario a little bit and you can show that you know something about games, that usually goes a long way with gamer guys, if that's really what you're looking for. But, and if they see you as not just like, just some girl, and they see you as someone who actually knows something about something they're into, it puts you in a different category.
Yeah, that's what I was trying to do with Nate, but then I noticed like he probably had some ulterior motive. That was the unfortunate part.
Sounds like he didn't really have any game though, so.
I know, yeah. That too.
It's a terrible
So do you
joke.
think he had like a timeline for the motive, and then when he didn't score?
I think so.
Did he ever try making a move though?
Not really. That's what doesn't make sense.
Well, no. I mean, it does kind of. Guys that are really introverted like that. So he was doing all the things to kind of like what they call peacocking or whatever, right? Trying to show that he had all this stuff, hoping that you would make the move because he's probably too scared to do it himself. Even though I know pretty much everyone I've ever known usually really respects it when a guy tries to make a move, especially if they're showing any interest, if they're hanging out with him. You know, usually a girl is waiting on the guy to make the move, and they're just too scared to do it. And like that's something the red pill shit doesn't teach guys that shit. It teaches them to act a certain way and to treat women poorly, and suddenly that's gonna like neg them into wanting them or something. It's stupid.
Yeah, it is.
The letting nowadays, for what I understand about the culture, the letting the guy make the move is kind of a trap, because when they make the move, then they get painted as a aggressor, perpetrator, toxically masculine, or whatever. So my experience with women, even as a gay person, is they rarely either know what they want or say what they want directly. Let's see. Did he meet you? Snapchat.
Yeah, they've been through Snapchat. Yeah, if you have something you want to like, you know, add to it, Nathan, come on, just call in. Got the link right there. We'd love to have you. Anyway,
he didn't meet me through an avatar. No.
Yeah. Well, you mean you didn't meet through an Xbox or something. So.
But you met through. So is Snapchat like where you can browse profiles and meet people directly through Snapchat, or do you meet them somewhere else and then move to Snapchat?
Usually meet them like on a dating app, and then yeah.
Yeah, my very limited interactions I had. At one time, we were trying to come up with a. I wanted to create an app at one point because we knew a guy that sort of did some stuff like that, but I don't know anymore. But we were trying to create an app that would be for like couples to meet other couples platonically, you know, not for like sex or whatever. But like we're trying to make this app called Picnic, and so we started looking at other dating apps. And
what was it called?
Like, we're gonna call it Picnic.
Oh.
It was just like because we had this idea. They have that now. Well, at the time they didn't.
I think there's an app called. There's something called Picnic.
It wouldn't surprise me if someone's taken that name by now, but it didn't exist back then. This was like 7 years ago. So, but I at the time I downloaded and made profiles and stuff so I could look through the various dating apps that existed at the time, trying to see what interfaces looked like. and I got like I think bot messaged a bunch of times. I got a bunch of bots that tried to like they try to get you to like go to some Snapchat thing or something, and then like they're trying to like scam you into something or whatever. But yeah, so I know that is a common thing where like people try to pull you off the dating app to Snapchat, so you have to pay for premium or whatever, right?
Yeah. People do that, yeah.
So what do you do now? Like now that this has happened?
I mean, I respected his decision and just like I'm just giving him that space. I mean, I pretty much think it's done and over with. That's my honest assessment.
Yeah,
if he comes back
like...
and has a reason that sounds legitimate, then I don't know, like maybe I'll test it out. But I don't know, because like I think you are right. He does have that flakiness to his character that's just there, and I don't know why. He may be more like, I don't know, afraid of connection and intimacy. I think that might be possible.
Like he's just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Because I do know that introverts do that. Like they have this limit. They have this battery, and once it gets tripped, then they need to retreat.
He could also be playing some stupid game with you. I've heard about this before of guys of it being suggested to guys that they actually do. That's a move some guys pulled out. Once again, this is part of this fucking.
That's what I was wondering, but I hate it. But I think this is a game.
Stupid.
Do you think he's sophisticated enough to do that?
If he's following some online guide or something, if he's listening to message boards, yeah, there's people out there that will literally coach guys through all the steps, and that's one of the steps they'll do is like you make some kind of cutoff, emotionally withdraw, and then you wait to see if they come chasing after you before you go back to make another move. This is stuff that like I've seen this shit. Like I've seen.
That's what
my impression of him is he's not that invested in the first place to spend all the time on message. He's probably just gaming and smoking weed.
Oh, he's a pot smoker?
He smokes weed occasionally. That's the other thing.
You smoke.
But I also think that could mean that he's looking at a message board. No, I don't.
Because even like looking at a message board shows some kind of interest or commitment. But I don't even think he's doing that. I don't know the guy. I'm just going off the impression that is emerging for me in your story.
He didn't strike me as a player, but it is possible that he is like listening to some kind of. I don't know. It's hard to say because it was such. It did feel like a game just because it was such like a strong emotional cutoff. Like it was just out of nowhere.
He tried.
And what did he say? What was his exact words?
Let me read it.
He wanted to be alone, right? He wanted to be alone.
I'll read the message. Yeah.
Okay, sure.
It was weird how he worded it too, though. He said, "Thank you for being open with me, smiley face. For right now, I want to take it easy and keep snapping like this as friends. I'm not entirely sure on how I feel, to be honest, but for now, I think I want to be by myself. Sorry that I haven't communicated that to you, but thank you for understanding."
How do people not know how they feel? I don't believe that.
I don't even know where that came from because I didn't ask him how he felt.
When he said thank you for being open, it sounded like it was in response to something you opened up about.
Yeah, I opened up about like why he wasn't communicating as much and like if we were gonna hang out again. Because he cut off the hanging out.
That might have been too direct like too challenging for him.
You think so?
It could be.
With
I'd have to meet the guy, but I don't know.
I thought maybe it was like pressure. I can come off as like eager and direct.
I don't know. I just get this vibe like he's following one of those. Now
I'm thinking it is because the way he worded "for now" like 3 times.
Yeah, I'm getting this real vibe that this is like some pickup artist bullshit, like some dating.
God.
He's on some forum, one of these red pill forums or something like that. He's probably talking to other people in the forum, and they're probably like, "Yeah, this is now you've shown value." This is what they do. They say they show value by like showing he's getting a car or something like that. But because like you haven't like attacked him physically yet. I mean sexually. And so, in order to get over that thing, because he's so insecure, he's got other virgins out there telling him this stuff. Mind you, he's not talking to successful men. Yeah. He's talking to other people that are just as much of a loser as he is.
I don't think he's talking to anybody.
Yeah. Well, he was on message boards and shit, right? He's on Reddit probably.
What? We don't
He
know.
said he's-
That. You
he-
see, now we're moving into conspiracy
well,
territory
It's not
again.
he said-
conspiracy.
We don't
we're
know
just-
any of this.
The only the only thing he said is that he's on woke TikTok.
Woke TikTok? What does
Yeah.
that mean?
I don't know.
There's a whole section of TikTok.
Well, that's a
called
big
woke.
red flag.
Yeah.
I think.
But it could
I think,
mean red
I think
pill.
you'd be justified in cutting off contact right there. Woke TikTok is like the worst of woke and the worst
I
of
don't
TikTok.
know what it is.
What? I'm
Is
looking
that
it
red
up. What is
pill?
woke? Is it labeled woke?
No.
You can go to TikTok and there's a tab that says woke. Oh, hashtag woke TikTok.
He has 3 different TikTok accounts, so I don't know. And he
That would bother me more than anything.
Yeah, why would he have 3
Someone
different
has
TikTok accounts?
3
What would be the
TikToks.
advantage of that?
I just recently learned that.
Yeah, that's
Because in addition to being a gamer, he's a TikTok addict.
Yeah.
This is a terminally online person, so his ability to like connect.
That's
with
what I'm
real-life
trying to think
humans-
of. Like, I think
could
maybe I
literally be
forced
as-
him.
it could literally be as simple as he's one of these people that's like staring at Instagram and TikTok and reading this shit all the time, and suddenly he decides like, oh, I'm probably too good for her or something like that. And so, and don't worry, he's not. I'm just saying like that's the kind
I
of
know.
shit that people get in their heads,
Yeah.
and then they. I mean, yeah, the way he just kind of like cut it off real suddenly like that after everything's going really well, and also after he buys a new car and all shit like that, it's either a game or something got in his head. But it could just be what Jeff said. It could just be introverted. He'd just be playing. But it seems weird if he was an introvert and he got scared. It seems like he'd cut it off entirely. He'd be like, "Yeah, I don't think
Yeah.
we
Well, he
can talk
did.
anymore," or something like that.
Well,
No, he didn't.
but
He
the
left
chat
it,
is
he left it
safe.
open.
Like, Snapchat.
What is the
friends
whole for now
safe, and he can
part?
control
I
the
don't
distance
get that.
until he decides he wants contact again. Like he's like, which has been his pattern from the start, is to
I
like
know.
reach out a little bit, then withdraw, reach out a little bit, then withdraw,
But he was doing so good. That was
according
the
to his
problem.
comfort level. But what makes the most sense to me is that you opened up about the communication,
Yeah.
and this is a reaction to that
So I shouldn't have
because
done
it was
that.
too intense.
It was
Well,
too
you should have
intense?
because it was authentic on your part. Like it's something you wanted to know.
See,
and
I don't know when
discuss,
I'm
but,
coming off as intense.
Like
I'm like,
I don't ever hold. Yeah, but you can't because it's subjective on each person's part. But I don't ever hold back because of that. Because
So that was too
I want them
intense?
to know my level of
think so.
intensity because I want them to filter me out if they can't match it.
now I feel
I
bad
don't
like I
have to-
shouldn't have done that. Now I'm
No,
confused.
don't feel bad about that. Even if that's the case, even if that scared him off or something, I don't think that is. I don't think that you did anything that should be considered like you shouldn't have to tiptoe around that kind of thing. If
Yeah,
that's,
or
if that
compromise
scared him, then
yourself to keep
you
a
wasn't
guy.
ready for a relationship, so I wouldn't worry about it.
Because I didn't
Yeah,
say
you shouldn't
anything
compromise
like
yourself.
about a relationship or stuff like that. Like I felt like I was just being like, I don't know. I guess I was being direct because I don't like to play games. I'm not like the woman that like go on other, people like women that go into other groups and ask other women for advice and they're like, cut them off, don't talk, play the game
Yeah.
back, match energy. I'm not like that. It's not authentic to me.
I agree.
And that was being my genuine self. Like if I were to just cut him off, because I had the option, I was like, okay, I'm noticing a decrease in communication, so I could match energy, whatever that means, and just I don't know, stop responding and ghost him. But then I was like, no, it was a good thing. It felt like a good connection, so I was gonna explore it. And I showed curiosity, but I guess my curiosity scared him off, so that's really strange.
Not necessarily. It could have.
But if you can't have a communication about communication, then he's not the guy. Like that. That's
Yeah.
Was it
that's
too
basic.
soon? I've been talking to him for
No.
like 5 months.
No,
off
that's
and
not too soon
on.
at all. You, if anything, be the opposite of that. I think in any normal relationship, I don't think you did anything wrong. I think it's whatever is going on it's in his head. If he suddenly shows back up and suddenly seems much more aggressive or something, then you'll know he was playing in some sort of game, And
I hope
then
he wasn't.
you can move on from that. I hope not
'Cause-
too. I
Because
hope
that's
not.
gross. I
It is
really
gross.
hope he's not buying a car just to impress me and get laid. That's messed up. Like, because now he bought this new car. But that was the thing too, Jeff. So when he called me and was all excited about this new car and wanted my opinion, and it's a sports car, by the way.
What does he do for a living?
How old is he?
24.
What does
Oh
he do
my
for a
God. And
living?
He's a pharmacy technician. So I have no clue how he's affording
I
this.
used to be a pharmacy technician. That's not enough money
How
to
is
buy
he
a car
affording
with.
this?
Yeah, that's a good question.
So maybe it comes from a rich family and I wasn't aware of it. But no, he called me up and I thought we were just being genuine. Like he genuinely wanted my opinion. So we're like talking about this new car. I'm thinking on my end, like he's opening up to me. Like, oh, this dude is genuine and like that's sweet of him. But then I thought about it and I'm like, why is he buying a sports car? Like, where's he getting this money on top of everything?
Did you actually see the car? Did he actually buy it?
He actually bought it.
Okay, so I mean, I wonder if
But
he
I
still
was-
has it in a week because you can buy a car off a lot and then take it back within like about a week.
I
or so,
know.
don't
That's
you
what I
think?
was
Yeah.
thinking. Like, if you're right, Chris, and he's playing a game, that's kind of scary. Because I would just
Yeah,
bought
I
a
mean,
car.
I mean, it can be. It doesn't mean he's actually a threat, but it could mean that he's trying to play some game. But it may not be. He might just be an introvert. It's just very strange. He did a lot of very non-introvert things leading up to that. That's just-
Changing his
Buying a sports car is
hairstyle.
not really an introvert gamer thing.
That's
Like,
what I'm
where did
saying.
that come
I'm saying he did a lot of
from?
non-introvert things. He bought new clothes and tried to show them off to her.
Yeah.
He bought a new car and showed it off to her. Those are not introvert things. These are kind of, if he was really an introvert that was withdrawing at that moment, then he might have done those things. He might have bought new clothes. He might have gotten a new car, but he wouldn't have been trying to brag about it or asking your opinion or anything like that. So
Yeah, I felt like he was
does seem-
bragging.
yeah, it
But
sounds
I
like
was
bragging.
but I was taking it as like, well, honestly, the compassionate side of me was just like happy because he said like this is the car he's always wanted. He's wanted it ever since he was a kid. Like I just thought like he thought about this like decision for a long time.
Do you
but then
remember what
when-
car it was?
Maybe it was that.
It was the like a Civic C or whatever. He told me they only sell like 5 a year.
What? There's
I
a
don't know.
Toyota Civic. They only sell 5 a year. That doesn't make any sense. Okay.
I don't know either.
Maybe-
It didn't
maybe
make
some
sense to me
special-
either.
Maybe some special thing. I don't know. I don't know. I
Yeah.
don't know much.
I don't
about
know
cars.
anything about cars. So.
He just told me this, and he was on the lot when he told me this, and they were like saying how this is like such a special car, and I was like, I was just happy that he was getting this new car, but I was just, it was too much. It was like the new haircut, the new wardrobe, the car, and then also he was what was that?
Maybe you inspired him.
Yeah, but that's also been my pattern where I inspire men to become better, and then they leave.
Well, quit inspiring them.
Yeah,
No,
just
you
neg
can't
neg
control
them
that.
back. Just cut them down. That way they feel less, and they'll depend on you for emotional
Oh my
validation.
God.
If they're leaving, that to me, they're not the right guy. They're not
Yeah,
the
I agree.
guy.
Not leaving. That sounds. I mean, they are leaving, but it's like they kind of do what this guy did. Like, oh,
How many
I don't
times
know.
has this happened? Like recently, like with a bunch of guys, like you've gotten to know them like over the
Just-
course of 5 months, and then they suddenly buy a new car and take off. I mean,
yeah, 2 or
No, well, I mean, tell me a previous one. Let's look at the pattern. Let's see what happened in another one. See if we can get to the bottom of this. See if we can find something.
So there's another one where he was an MMA fighter, and I don't know, like in this situation, he didn't directly say I was inspiring him, but like the one thing was I went to one of his fights. He's Irish, and so he would like carry the Irish flag with him like whenever he would win a fight, but he hated it. So he told me like he communicated me like he hated doing that. But ever since I told him like, oh, that's really cool, he would do the Irish flag each and every time after that. And then he started drastically changing everything about himself. But he would deny that he had any interest in me, even though he wasn't dating anyone else, and everyone thought he was really into me. And he asked me like when he was doing his merch, like how he should do his merch, and I just like gave suggestions. It turns out he took my suggestions to heart, and his merch was exactly like everything
you
that I
said.
told him.
Right.
And but he denied everything, so it's like it's a different situation. But let's see, what else did he do? He would never text me first, but I would have to text him first, but he'd respond in like 5 seconds, and then he would like text me all day if I were to text him first. So it was really like extreme mind games with that one. It kind of messed me up because like I would tell him things and he would do them, but then he would deny that like he was inspired.
But you guys never dated. You were never in a relationship.
No, we went on one date.
You went on one date.
Yeah.
Did that not go well?
It went well too. And then he told me like we had this great positive connection, but he wasn't in a place for relationships. I think he was like doing things that showed he liked me, but then he denied all of it. It was really weird.
Yeah, that's a very different situation.
Yeah.
I can see how you connect the pattern kind of thing, but I don't think that one has anything to do with the recent one with the gamer. I think that sounds like that guy was just kind of. I mean, he was successful at MMA. He was doing well in the thing.
Yeah, well,
He probably didn't want that relationship
MMA.
anyway. Those guys don't have long shelf lives.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I thought. Like, I was like, why am I pursuing this? But he was the gamer too outside MMA, so that's why I made that connection.
Well, that's it. I mean, you played games with him or anything? Did you? I mean, video games.
We played like the Batman game and then like Minecraft.
Sound like he was more like a casual gamer. Like
Yeah.
I could consider myself a gamer. I own video game consoles and stuff like that. I played video games a lot when I was growing up, but I barely touch them anymore. But I could still call myself a gamer, I guess. But it's not really has anything to do with like a gamer is like you're this other guy. You said he played Apex Legends or something like that.
And he's in the top 10 in like the
Wow.
world. Like literally showed me like proof and everything. And I was kind of, but he didn't brag about that. That was weird too. Like he was shy about telling me that fact.
If he's in top 10, wouldn't he be in like? Don't they have professional leagues for that kind of shit? For
Yeah, he's in a
Apex?
professional league.
Oh, he's in a professional league too.
So maybe he gets paid for
it
that.
might
I don't
it
know.
might have just been that like he might have liked you, and some of those guys that are in those leagues and stuff, they get like little fangirls and stuff, kind of like little groupies thing.
Yeah, he has fangirls.
It might have just been that you just weren't slathering on the attention the way he wanted to, because he gets that kind of attention from fangirls and stuff like that. It might be as simple as that. It doesn't sound like you did anything wrong. I think you're right to act the way you act and to be forthright and just be kind of cool and willing to hang out and stuff. But you're not just gonna like just fall down at their feet and worship them, the kind of thing. But
I'm not like that.
yeah, that's good. I'm glad you're not like that. I'm
Yeah.
just saying that that's maybe what he was trying to, the reaction he was trying to get. He was trying to get some sort of devotion that, he
That's
has
what
to
I
earn.
thought.
Yeah.
I still think we're overlooking the conversation she had about communication, because that's when this happened. Hey, Joshua.
So it's too intense? I'm confused.
I don't
now.
think it was too intense. I don't think so. That's not, in my opinion. It sounds
I
pretty
think from
casual.
what I know about introverted gamers and my own experience with them too, it sounds like it's exactly.
Should I have
that's
just
exactly
matched the
type
energy?
of thing that would. No, you should find guys that that match who you are, and stop
I
trying to
know.
find guys that are not a fit for you, and then adjust yourself to them.
But it was going so well. That was the problem. It caught me off guard.
It was
I
going
wanted-
well because you didn't have to like shift into a higher gear, and the minute you did, he
Yeah.
I
couldn't.
mean, it was
match
going
it.
well, Emerald, but it doesn't sound like you were really like swooning over the guy. It sounds like you were
I
trying
wasn't
your best to make it
swooning.
work. I mean,
It takes
I mean,
a lot
I
for me
think-
to spoon, which I don't want to sound like
no, that's
egotistical.
fine. That's not a bad thing. I'm just saying, but if you weren't, it just doesn't sound like you were that super into him either, to be honest. So not really a big deal then, right? I mean,
Yeah.
even if it seemed like it was going well, you don't seem too upset about it.
I rarely get upset because like I've been through so many
Oh,
bizarre
I'm sorry to hear
dating
that.
situations.
You seem like a really great woman. I'm sorry to hear that. I don't know why.
Jeff knows
Men are
all
so
about
shithead-
it. That's why
shitheads
Jeff gets
these
mad
days.
at me that I even went for Nate to begin.
How did you meet Nate, Jen?
I wasn't
Jeff?
mad.
It's Jen. How'd you meet Nate, Jeff?
I
did
just
you
told him
interact with
about
once?
him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought you said you interacted with him once.
Oh no.
Okay.
No, Jeff was never on Team
No,
Nate
I
the
heard
moment
all
I
this
brought
story.
him up. Jeff was like, "You're never gonna get along with the gamer." Wait, what did you tell me, Jeff? Like, when I first told you about Nate, what was your impression?
That gamers are probably not what you're looking for.
Yeah.
They're not gonna.
A guy who's like that.
They're
into
not
a
going to
game
be
like
at the
that.
communication level you want, the interaction level you want, the giftedness, the deep philosophical talk that you want from guys.
I think he was probably scared off from that, like scared by that as well. I don't know. Like, I don't know what was making me want to pursue that communication with him then. Because I wasn't like super into him the way his like fangirls were. But I'm also
Is
naturally
it
not like
that
that.
he was a guy, period? Like, is it just out of neediness?
No, I think I just like wanted to see if I could go for someone that wasn't my type.
Oh.
Or like, I don't know. I wanted to see how I'd fit with a gamer dude. Like it was like an experiment, but then it was like going well. So I was like, oh, this is going well. And it caught me off
Well,
guard.
it was going well, like conditionally
Yeah.
under certain parameters, but they were very narrow.
Also, he has like a very easygoing nature. So I think a part of me thought like I think that's what tricked me. I thought because he was so easygoing that he was like, accepting me for me and liked me for who I like am. So, but I think like he actually was just easygoing and just like was going with the flow. And I was like seeking meaning. So you know how I seek meaning and things.
My
is
impression of him in the beginning was not that he was easygoing at all, but he was very fussy and
Really?
particular. Yeah, he's the one that made date and then didn't want to
Oh
do the
yeah.
date and then made the date again and didn't want to do the
Yeah.
date. That's not easygoing to me.
But I'm way too accommodating. That's the other
That's kind of high
problem.
maintenance.
Yeah, that could also just be. I mean, that sounds very introvert, like making dates and changing them a lot. Although, once again, it does also play into that. There's a. I watched videos of this.
Yeah.
I've been fascinated with the red pill thing. There are people that will literally tell you to make dates with women and then cancel them
I know.
several times
It grosses
before you
me
actually.
out.
Yeah. So
Do you know that
maybe
one
he-
podcast, Fit and Fresh? The Red
God,
Pill
I hate those
podcast?
guys. I hate those guys so much.
Yeah.
I've seen
I
it.
listen to it with an open mind and it makes me
Trying
want to
to-
throw my laptop.
Trying to get into that to understand that mentality. That's what I was doing.
Yeah.
I watched
It's
it
sick.
somewhat. It's those guys are just they're
They
complete
actually
piece of shit.
believe. And then they
Well,
have women on the show.
Let's be clear. Let's be clear here. Like Fresh and Fit's not giving out dating advice for healthy relationships. They're giving
No,
out
they're not.
information to manipulate other people to bend into you.
Yeah.
That's just destined to doom in a relationship.
Yeah.
Why do
And-
they tell men to make dates and then break them?
Yeah, well, so
It's a
actually,
mind
women are
game.
women are incredibly easy to manipulate. Like you can do all kinds of just completely trivial things to just bust up their self-esteem. And a woman with low self-esteem will effectively follow you around like a lost puppy dog.
That's wild to me.
It's just pure manipulation. But I mean, that's the thing. That's why I have a horrible hatred for red pill. I can't stand them. I can't even deal with
I
playing
can't
with
stand
fire.
them.
What do you mean by red pill? Because I think there's two connotations of it. I consider myself red pill, in the sense that I've watched the red pill documentary and related to it very much of men's rights and the men's issues in society currently. But I don't associate that. I think of what you're talking about more as the pickup artist than the
They
red
kind of
pill.
merged at some
They,
point in the last
merge
5
together.
years.
That becomes the problem with every damn group that's out there, right? You're always going to get pretty much all the bullshit you don't want to have on it, or all the negative stuff on one side. It's going to join into anything that they can even remotely attach to.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, I'm still red pilled. I'm just not pickup artist.
I mean, the term red pill has just kind of evolved into this other thing, but yeah, I mean, I understand what you're talking about being the red pill.
it's kind of
documentary. I haven't
the
seen
the
that,
male
but-
version of wokeness. You're awake to how men
Yeah.
are
I hate
seen
it.
in this society and
But
treated.
to be fair to Fresh and Fit, and I don't want to be very fair to them, but the women they have on Fresh and Fit are of the trash variety.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
they seem
if that's
like
the
skanks.
only women you ever interact with, then it's really it's no secret as to why they think this way, because like they have the trashiest, most horrific. I mean,
Yeah.
you listen to these guys and you think, oh god, these guys are terrible, and then you hear these
Mhm.
women that come on there and you're just like, I don't know which is worse.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
which
what
is
I
worse
hate.
anymore.
I can't stand that podcast.
Well- Welcome to the internet. Everybody seems to think that it's a reality.
Right.
Yeah.
It's my reality. It's been my reality for 3 years now.
So I got some interesting news. I got reactivated. I'm going to Lebanon this afternoon.
Wait, what?
Oh my
You mean
God.
military?
No, Department of State. They ended up. They put me on
Yeah.
standby like 2 or 3. I can't remember. Two nights ago.
I saw the news announcement about them putting a bunch of people on standby.
What does this mean? What do you think it means?
Fuck if I know. I don't even know why they would send me to Lebanon. I have no training for them. I got a little bit of training from like Iran and Turkey. I got nothing for Lebanon.
When did you leave?
This afternoon, I jump an airplane and out of Vietnam and straight. Well, I don't know if it's straight there. They'll probably dump me somewhere, but I'm only going to be gone for like 10 to 14 days. This is why none of this stuff makes any sense to me.
And you think it's related to what's happening?
I actually think it's. I think it's related to the what they call a Ring of Fire doctrine, which is basically all of those militia groups that are kind of like they're either Hezbollah or they're like a bunch of those like side militias that are in there. U.S. I know wants a really nasty piece of Lebanon. Like they U.S. has an interest in getting involved with them. But I got no clue. Like Lebanon, I would have thought we would have had more of an interest in Jordan, but apparently not. Like they want the naval, they want something to do with the naval ports within Lebanon, or at least control.
You're going to Lebanon. That's what you're going to be in Lebanon.
Yeah, yeah, but only for like 10 or 14 days, and then I'll be back. Then I got to go through all this bullshit to get back out again.
Man, that sucks. I wouldn't want to be anywhere near that area right now. So I bet you.
It'll be incredibly. It'd be incredibly safe for us. Lebanon doesn't. They really don't want. They don't want any shit with the United States. So they'll pretty much like they'll have. We have our security details. They'll have their security details. You'll be surrounded. It's not. There's no problems with like it being dangerous or anything like that. I just don't understand. Not with my training. It doesn't make any sense for me to go there. But they could be short-staffed too. Like they've always most federal branches are understaffed like shit. Maybe that could be it.
What are you trained in? Like, what's your area of you work in the State Department? You don't have to tell me if you don't want.
Well, no, it's pretty much it's usually got to do with like a negotiation, but based off of again, I'm a tactician, not a clinician. Like everything that I was ever taught was how to make other people do your will, kind of thing. But in this case, like it's kind of like I don't know what the hell they'd even be negotiating for, anyways, because I'm pretty much of the opinion that U.S. wants a piece of their ass. So I have no clue. That's what that's what most of the training's for. Now I've got a little bit of training I have a little bit of training in dealing with Hezbollah, but like not Lebanon themselves.
Are you still going to be able to stream, or are you going to be out of commission for 2 weeks?
I don't know. That's why I always tell everybody like if I have any type of access on my phone or anything like that, it's kind of dangerous just because like you may or may not be allowed to take your phone into wherever you're going, kind of thing. Could get lost. So I pull all of my SIM cards out, and I don't take anything with me really. I take a device for communication because I call my mom constantly, but that's about it. My wife's all pissed off. She's like, "You're not going to call me?" No. It's a vacation. What are you talking about? Hell no.
I feel like I've met wifey. That doesn't sound good.
just yeah, it is what it is. It's like it's like I'm not gonna be gone so long. I mean, I don't know. I think I got. I don't know. Something happened once Israel bombed their airport. That was the end of it. Like that shit got real then.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know what to say, man. The whole situation's been crazy, and I know that I guess it's not like you really know any more than anybody else does what's going on.
And you're probably not going to be able to tell us much.
Even if I got there,
anyway.
Even if I got there, I'm not going to know what the hell's going on. I'm so low end, like I don't mean shit. They're not going to tell me what the hell they're doing. They're just going to tell me what to do, and that's going to be the end of it. I might be able to figure out some shit. I just want to take photos. That's really what I want to do. They'll probably won't let me do that either. So, yeah, we'll see.
Well, be careful, man. I hope it goes well.
I just hope I have some fun at least. Some of these places get really boring. Like they'll put you in a building and you don't get to come out. It might as well be like prison. It's just it could be fun. It could be most likely is the case. It's boring. They don't ever send me any place that's like interesting. you don't get to get out and talk to the people. They just kind of like, yeah.
Don't they have good food there? I love Lebanese food. Are you gonna at least get to eat well?
I don't know. I don't know shit about Lebanon. I've never been posted. The only two Middle Eastern countries I've ever been posted was Iran and Turkey. That was it. It would have made more sense to send me to Qatar, but like, I mean, we got nothing there that going on that. Well, I mean, Qatar is a little pissy toward U.S. right now.
Isn't that where Hamas is, like the leadership is?
It's what they claim. Yeah, I'm starting to have a hard time even understanding what Hamas means. Like, yeah, I mean, it's just basically a network of fucknuts doing all kinds of weird shit, right? But they're hurting now.
It's like all the shit that terrorist organization.
Yeah, but I mean, like that's a description of hell, 24 of those different groups, right? It's all the same bullshit, different names. But let's talk about this dating shit, right? Because now I'm kind of curious about this. This is the one thing that I absolutely would never want to do again. Like if I wasn't married, you couldn't pay me to fucking date anybody. Like this is bullshit.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
What's your take on it so far for what you've heard?
From what I can understand so far, at least talking to some people that date, we're not talking about large numbers, but generally dating starts off as the concept is both people are basically projecting what they want the other person to see. Period. So now from within this type of, I guess, mindset, within this type of kind of doctrine that you've got stuck in your head, right? What do you do with that? You can't be upfront and honest because you're already trying to depict what you want the other person to see. So honesty goes out the door. Then you're expected to communicate. What for? You've already started from a deceptive perspective, so that's not going to be real possible. Like the starting point is wrong. It can never get you to like whatever it is that goal that you might be. I don't understand the whole dating hookup to have sex. Just go have sex, be done with it. Fuck the dating part. That would just make sense. But if you're dating, like it would usually have some type of goal. Like you're looking for a long-term relationship. You're looking for a future wife. You're looking for the mother of your kids, right? It's got some type of goal. But anything it seems like with that dating doctrine does not get you in that direction. What it does is if you manage to get in that direction, you're divorced because everything you did was deceptive.
Right. Like if that is your goal and you're not doing open, honest communication, of course you're not going to reach it. Like I think that's what it takes. You're trying to build trust and respect and healthy communication for long term. So if your goal is long term and you're not taking those steps, then yes, there is going to be some dissonance there.
I think men have an unfair advantage currently.
Why is that?
Oh, I heard that men are on the short end of things lately.
Men are on the short end of the stick because they're basically a majority that can't get to that point where they can actually have a conversation with girls. Like a guy won't just randomly go up to a girl anymore and, hey, you want to go for coffee kind of thing. But the advantage side is seems to be more on the women's side because the women want it and the guys are all you start off like this age of say like 24, 25. Think about it. When you and I or any of us were, well, okay, I'm like 40. You guys are a little bit older than me, right? But think back when you were 24, 25 years old.
42.
Life was a little bit different. We did things completely different.
Yeah, we didn't have cell phones or any of this shit. So
Right. We the idea of talking to a girl, right? Like we would boo each other up, like, oh yeah, go over there and talk to that girl, right? Yeah. We were our worst enemies within these like little social cliques, but it's like normally what we would do with all the other guys. We would try to trip them up, try to make fun of them. That's just the camaraderie that the guys had. Now, like guys have they can't be honest because they know they know jack shit about about women that they can't just generally just go up and have a conversation. She doesn't give a shit.
What do you have to know about women to be honest? Isn't honesty its own thing?
So the first thing is get that shit out of your head that it's a woman. It doesn't matter. It's the same concept that you would apply to like another person you'd walk to, you talk to on the street. It doesn't matter. She's either going to like you or she's not. You just go for it.
Yeah. That's what I think.
What's up, Neuro?
Hey man, how are you?
I'm
Hey,
good.
do you have
I'm
any
good.
dating advice?
Yeah, actually, that's like the point that Joshua Jones just brought up is actually very similar to like what I generally think that. I mean, I'm happily, got some, got a family, but at the same time, like it is very enticing. I think now is one of the best times to be a guy if you have like a little bit of balls. Just going up and actually engaging with women, I think right now is like one of the best times in my lifetime. I think you have the most upward mobility as a guy right now
Where would
to go
you
and
even go
find.
to meet these girls to go up and talk to them, though?
Well,
I
that's the
mean,
hardest.
bars are all terrible, and
That's the
Yeah.
hardest part. I think if you can find ways in which to if you can find social situations to get into, now's the best time. The hard part is getting into social situations with those people, and because now everything is so connected to the phone,
you
a
know what?
double-edged sword in a way.
Yeah, I agree. You know what advice I would give you, Emerald, in terms of trying to meet somebody? The first things, of course, I know you because we watch movies. We do this movie club thing, and you talked about how much you love the National. Do you go to shows? Do you go to concerts?
Yeah, I do.
I mean, I would just go to shows that you like. There's usually single guys those shows, and that would be at least you would know you're meeting somebody over a shared thing. That's probably a really good. I mean, that's what I
Well,
would do if I was trying to find somebody right now. I'd go to concerts. That's be the only. I mean, I'd probably get shot down a lot, but I mean, at least you're not starting from nothing. You know.
well, I'm just popping up at the last second, but Emerald said you're looking for someone right now.
Yeah, I am.
What's your, if you don't mind me, I don't know if you already covered it. If you did, then just tell me to be quiet. But what's your general like background as far as like what do you like or what do you don't like now, like, or what, like what's your overall goal, I guess. Like, do you want to have family? Do you want to, what I mean? Like, was there a particular thing that you're looking for? Or is it more just you know we'll see what, open to what comes to you. I'm asking for a reason, that's why. So sorry about the question, but
Yeah, to answer your question, I mean, I'm pretty much like right now exploring like what I like and what I don't like because I have like a history of like long-term relationships. Like I'm 26 currently, so I'm still in that like exploring stage. But where recently I've been like dating more gamer, introverted types that probably aren't a good match for me, to be honest, like Jeff has been saying. But I don't know, I don't really know like who my ideal match would be. So I'm like trying to figure that out while also dating and seeing like what comes my way.
But if you found a guy like that, I think we was trying to find out is if you would be looking for marriage or just to have a good long relationship, or
As of right now, probably just looking for like a good long-term relationship. Because I don't know where I stand on kids.
Sure.
But open to
so
kids.
like,
But yeah.
if you had your dream, not to say like what's your dream guy, but like in general, like would you want a guy who hikes, or a guy who, like has a lot of friends, or just someone who's just like an independent thinker? You know what I mean? Like, what archetype, I guess, is kind of my overall question.
I would say like a guy that reads, is a deep thinker, likes nature, probably like a good sense of humor, and like compassionate. But I feel like those are already like really high standards.
Those are
Yeah,
good things to start with.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's very important, actually. Like that's a very underrated point, I think, because I think humor can smooth over things that are not easy to smooth over.
Yeah.
Do they have like philosophy clubs or stuff where you are, that like Socrates Cafe and things like
I've
that in
tried
person where you
those.
can meet guys that like to read and think? You have tried them?
Yeah, before gamer dudes, I was dating like more philosophical types, but they were like, our intensity was too much between each other. So it's like that's why I'm now looking for like philosophical, but also that sense of humor, because it can get too deep, too too much energy. I don't know, it's hard to describe. Like too much thinking and stuff like that. I don't know.
So
It's
you
hard.
You want to
balance it.
you want an older guy then, because like I was, at 26 I was just too intense. It wasn't until I hit my 30, early 30s that I really started to be able to take in all the philosophical stuff and still have a positive attitude about stuff. You know what I mean? Like that's a mistake I made a lot in my 20s.
Yeah, 'cause that's the other thing. You brought up a good point. Is like some of the philosophical guys in their 20s, they're like more negative about everything, and that's kind of like a turn off for me. Like I don't know, like they'll be like more depressed sometimes, which I'm
Philosophy
not
will do that.
trying to
Yeah,
judge them on
philosophy can
that.
really bum you out.
But yeah, that's why I was like, maybe I shouldn't be looking in those spaces.
Sure. Well, I want to ask you one more question though. Like, what are your like life goals though? I mean, beyond relationships, like what are your life goals? Because like I think if you figure it out, if you've got that kind of thing figured out, like what direction you want your life to take in general, like what things you want to accomplish, I think that'd be a lot easier to find somebody who'd be a partner for that for you, and where you're
Yeah.
looking and like kind of the mentality you have. So like, do you have life goals like that, or are you still trying to figure that out?
Yeah, I mean, my current life goals are like I'm currently trying to be a therapist, and then I'm teaching ESL online, and then I'm exploring my passions. Like I'm still like exploring everything in general. That's why it's like I don't have like a super like strict focus on like what I'm looking for in a partner, if that makes sense. Because I'm
Yeah.
still
You
like figuring it all out on my own. But that's like a lot of pressure to put on myself.
you
Ooh.
you definitely want to find
Oh, you're breaking
who
up,
has
Jack.
equal amount of curiosity to help you understand that, just in the same way that sorry, I'm on the highway. You want to find someone with equal amount of curiosity
Yeah.
about yourself and about them. You know what I mean? That's really important. But I would say like my overall advice is like meeting people online, I think is not sketchy in a bad way, but I think it's really hard to get a sense of chemistry online compared to in person. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like both, I think in person is just far superior in general. I mean, are there exceptions? Yes, but I think in general, like you can sort through people much more easily with face-to-face interaction, in my opinion.
I agree. Because like I do keep falling like victim to like that false sense of intimacy, like especially on dating apps where you're like having good banner and good conversation on the apps. Like you haven't even heard their voice yet or seen them on video. And you can already like create this like false sense of connection in your mind and then get like really excited about that person. Then you meet them in person and it's like completely different, either for good reasons or bad reasons.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I met my wife on MySpace, but but it was back in the early days of this kind of stuff. So nobody was like putting like there was no Instagram filters or anything yet, you right? So
Yeah.
like, people didn't put up like I looked like myself on MySpace, my wife looked like herself. Nobody was putting up like fake pictures or anything shit like
Oh,
that.
they had
So
tricks even back
there's so
then.
many. Yeah, but my wife looks when I met her, she looks exactly like the way the person I thought she was. I mean, I didn't even think about that being something. I mean, yeah, there was the early days of the internet were full of like dudes pretending to be chicks and catfishing people and shit like that. But like at least but I'm just saying. My point was that that early days of innocence kind of the internet doesn't exist anymore. Now everyone's hyper cynical and they're all
Yeah.
they're all trying to like pull some kind of con on one way or another. So it makes the whole internet dating thing just very yeah, I would definitely focus on trying to meet people in real life. I think even with the way guys are nowadays, even if you saw a guy like at a concert or something scholastic or something like that, and you really like them and you just went up and talked to them, you'd probably do a lot better than you think you would. I know maybe it might suck for a woman to try to be the forward one, try to be the instigator of that. But at the same time, if that's all you have to, if they show interest back, then I think you'd get a long way like that personally. I know back in when I was single and stuff, if I went to like a concert for a band I really liked or something like that, or it was adjacent to a band I really liked, and a girl would just come and start talking to me, I would have I would have pissed myself. Like I would have been so excited about that, so much more so than meeting people in bars or something like that, because it's at least you have like a shared cultural thing, right? It just seems like
Yeah,
it seems like a good sign for a better
and,
match.
and I think it is really tough for women right now. I mean, some of the women I have the best rapport with are actually married women who have a great sense of humor, because there's no pressure on us to be a particular
yeah.
way. You
Yeah.
understand what I'm saying? And so it relieves that pressure that, like, it's very tough. So you kind of have to find ways of being like mysterious, but also open at the same time. It's really
It's
difficult
tough
for men
to
as
strike
well.
that balance.
Yeah.
Where are the mental health professionals dating? Do they have professional dating organizations
Well,
for people?
they
They should. It seems like that would be a good idea.
I don't think mental health professionals should date each other. That's my personal opinion.
How do you,
Sorry, I don't think they should.
oh, they should not date each other?
I wouldn't. You think somebody? You think I would date anybody that was trained in my field? I would be scared to death of the person. I don't know how my wife even has a conversation with me. She knows what I do. Like, she knows. I'm like, why are you even talking to me? You're a dumbass. Like, yeah.
Well, y'all have a special relationship, for what I understand.
Well, this is true. It's definitely true.
Wait, what do you mean by special relationship? What does that mean? That sounds fun. What does that mean?
Him and his
Yeah, I'm
wife.
curious.
She's basically a card carrying commie, and I'm like apparently I'm a card carrying commie now, but like a hard, like a right winger. So yeah, we don't agree on too much of anything.
Okay. That is special.
Well, but actually, I find, I'm not going to get into my personal relationship online, but I will say, like, there is something about people being kind of opposites and kind of balancing each other out, and I think that that's a good, good example of that. And I kind of sought that out, and I actually had a very hard time finding it. But there is something about the extreme difference. But the thing that bound us was actually the being able to have a unique sense of humor about the differences. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think I for sure Joshua Jones knows what I mean, because he's doing cross cultural stuff, and so, like, if you don't have a sense of humor, you're going to get totally eaten alive in the East. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. But I spend most of my time laughing at myself, so
That sounds healthy.
So Jeff and I are the only single ones on this panel.
That's true.
yes.
And Jeff, you've been single the longest.
We feel incredibly sorry for you guys.
15 years.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's funny. You guys are jealous of us, and we're jealous of you. That's the
Why are you jealous of us?
Yeah, why?
No.
Oh, because I don't have to
can't
do the
say I am.
fucking dishes.
Because you want to redo?
If I were in your shoes, I would
still have
buy
to
a
do
fucking
dishes?
dishwasher, right? Like, I mean,
Well,
I wouldn't
I
have
to
to worry
load
about
it and
this
you have
shit.
to empty it. You wash your dishes by hand?
Yeah, man. Oh my god.
Oh,
So
man.
this has
Yeah,
happened
no,
like
I guess
multiple
you-
times.
so-
Okay, so first of all, even hot water is not a standard thing here, right? Like, you have to go and get the hot water heater and install it yourself, kind of thing. It's a thing, right? It's like one of those hot water on demands. So like a dishwasher is like considered like a crazy luxury item. We went shopping. We just happened to be in the mall, and I'm kind of like trying to look for recliners because, well, I'm one of those lazy shits. And I found like this aisle of dishwashers, and I'm looking at them. The old lady comes up and she's like, "What is this?" And I said, "It's a dishwasher." And she's like, "Well, what does it do?" I'm like looking at her like, "What the hell is wrong with you?" Right? It washes the dishes. And she says, "Oh, we have a dishwasher already." Talk about wanting to fight right there in the middle of the damn. I'm like, "Oh, the hell you did not." Yeah, it is.
Well, it sounds like she has a
You
good sense of
what's
humor then. So
Oh yeah.
Well, I thought you were going to make a communist joke and said you found a dishwasher and it was an indentured servant for sale in the
Oh, that's what kids are for. Except for mine'll break all the damn dishes if I let them near the shit, right? So I will. They'll get clean. They'll get broken in the same time. So I just gotta wait. I keep getting that advice. Everybody keeps telling me, "Oh, have more kids." I like the idea of having an army. I don't like the idea of feeding an army, right? Like that's a lot of time in the kitchen, right? And my cooking sucks too. So I mean, that doesn't help any.
Well, that sucks.
What does she keep
You-
you around for?
Well, like my first guess would be, she's not that smart. I mean, that's what I'm thinking, right? Like, well, why would you tolerate this shit? But but I don't know. Some people like misery. I have no idea.
I have a theory. You're not high status per se, but you definitely, as far as inter business relationships, you definitely throw like a wild card in the mix. So I think maybe it keeps everybody on their toes when they do business with her or something.
Maybe. I have no clue.
I'm joking, but I know you'll get the joke, but most people won't. But I know you get the idea. There is this kind of weird, society over there. I haven't been to Vietnam, but
Or all Southeast Asia is the same. It's all pretty much the same, at least from a Western perspective. So, I did want to pay homage to one little problem, at least on the guys' end. You notice that we kind of are like growing up a lot slower. So be like 24, 25 years old before a guy will like kind of get to that point where he'll be able to like take care of himself out on his own. Like wash his own underwear kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't recall that when we were teenagers. 18,
Girls
you're
have
asking.
always developed faster than guys.
Well, I think part of it is a big part of it.
You broke up all the content of your last statement, Jack. It was all cut out by the connection, so we didn't hear any of it.
It's probably because of birth control and condom, because you don't get pregnant very easily. So that's probably the reason.
Oh, because once you get, then you have to learn all that.
Right. Okay. Yeah, I see.
Or when a woman gets pregnant, you get married and you have no choice, because the families will get involved and not appreciate you.
Yeah.
Happy mistakes anymore. You see what I'm saying?
Growing up, the women
Like,
did all that we didn't have to learn it because there was always women around to do that kind of stuff.
I had to learn it. My mom made me learn to do all that stuff. So
Not mine.
I'm thankful for it. So
I had to learn I kind of had to learn the birth control thing, but for me it was like all deceptive as shit. Like my old man was like, so the birds and the bees conversation was effectively this. Keep in mind, my old man was born in like 1926, career military. So the birds and bees conversation for me was pretty much, look, if you're going to touch a girl, there's a really good chance you're going to catch gonorrhea. And how they cure gonorrhea is they put your stuff out on a table, right? And they hit it with a rubber hammer. Complete lie, but I believed it at the time, right? Scared the living shit out of me because my old man never lied about anything except for this one time, the shock effect. Scared the shit out of me. Worked for a couple years at least. That was effectively the birds and the bees talk. So I had it in my head
that wouldn't work today. Kids have the internet; they just go look up what they do for gonorrhea. And then...
Well, it's work. We sort of had the internet then too. I was just too stupid to go look for information there. Right? I mean, okay. It's the same thing.
Well, if you say that to a kid now, they might take it as a fetish, and they probably sound like
they'll be like, "Well, Dad's got his kink, I guess." So, yeah.
No, but it's true. I was sitting at a restaurant a couple of days ago, and these middle school kids are like talking about furries and like everybody watching them take a shit at school, and it was really disturbing. I was like, "What is this? What kids talk about these days?" Like, it was pretty
yes,
intense.
Yeah, I won't. It's rare that I'll have a conversation with anybody under the age of 30 anymore. It happens, but usually it happens because they can carry on a conversation. Vast majority, some really weird stuff.
Like, how often do you talk to people that young? Then, I mean,
well, I mean that's not fair here because now it's all evolved around this culture here. In which case, dating here is even worse for guys. I don't know. Like I said, when I catch online and I start to get a whiff of some of the conversations, I'm like, yeah. You're young. I'm going over here. Change the channels. Done.
I think dating definitely sucks for everybody right now. I wouldn't like. I do not envy, or I'm not jealous of the fact these guys are single at all. I face the possibility of being single again for a brief period of time, and in that period of time, I was terrified at what the landscape I saw before me. So I
Yeah.
am perfect. I was happily married before that, and I'm happily married now, and yeah. So
I don't remember dating ever being all that great.
I mean, it was never great for me, I guess, but it wasn't. I kind of bounced from a couple of like I dated a couple of girls I dated went a couple of dates with, and then I got into one really serious relationship, and when that ended, by the time I kind of came out of that is around the time I met Lindsay. So, it wasn't like I didn't do a lot of casual dating. There was like 2 girls I ever went on like a date with that was just kind of something that fizzled, but I didn't do a lot of that. So, and I was a
Not
pretty late bloomer too. I didn't really start dating anyone until I was like 21. So,
Well, I had a blast. I had a blast dating, at least stateside, until like I got started getting shipped out. Then it was obviously then the culture aspect took into it. There was no dating. Like a Western girl wasn't an option, and then there didn't really seem much of a point of dating, anyways, if you're going to keep getting moved around to different countries all the time. But before that, God, I thought it was actually fun as hell because it wasn't like. So I mean, small town dating USA, you kind of like can't really pull off that whole like deceptive practice bullshit. Everybody knows everything anyways.
yeah.
And so you're going out and you're doing your shit and everybody was up in your business. It's kind of fun.
I mean, I guess in my, my single years, I honestly, the reason I started dating so late was because I was really focused on other things when I was younger. I didn't really meet anybody that I was really that interested in. And when I did meet someone I was interested in, I did pursue it, and it didn't work out, and so on and so forth. But I guess I didn't like have a bad time when I was quote unquote single. I just didn't really think of myself in those terms ever. I didn't really
Oh
think of
yeah,
myself
yeah.
as being like someone who was dating or someone who was single or in a relationship. I never really just didn't think about that until I was actually in a relationship. Um, so I have a really unique and not particularly interesting dating stories. I have like maybe 1 or 2 stories that were kind of funny from back before, but I don't have like a long history or list of things I can like. Emerald sound like you've got a whole bunch of stories in your pocket for that
I
stuff,
really
but
do.
I do not.
Look,
I have enough experience with people that I think I can usually see some angles that other people don't see, but I'm not like, I was never like a serial dater or anything.
I probably am like a serial dater. That's why I was like going in and out of like, okay, what is my type? Because why am I just going on all these first dates? And then that was kind of scaring me because I was like, and not scaring me, but I was like, oh, this is a lot of fun, like just getting to know these people. And like, I'm just like a very curious person. So I like asking new people like questions, getting to know them. But then I was like, then I started like finding different guys, as Jeff knows. And I was like, okay, it's not as fun anymore. Because now feelings are getting involved with certain guys and they're like disasters.
Well, if you don't mind me asking, what do you think is if you had to amalgamate the 1 or 2 or 3 traits that you find all these men have in common that you don't find appealing, what would you say that it is?
Probably private flakiness and like probably like emotional unavailability. Because I think I noticed a pattern within myself where like if I become more open with the guy, it's usually with a guy that's more like emotionally unavailable. And I've noticed that's like been a trend that I'm trying to break.
Have you tried to understand where that's coming from, or was that just not a possibility?
Yeah, I was able to see that it was definitely coming from like my own fear of like intimacy and commitment. So I was able to like recognize that, but then I was like, okay, I know this about myself, so then I'm really trying to not be attracted to like emotionally unavailable men, but there's some kind of attraction there that It's hard to describe.
Well, I can just speak from my personal. I was extremely emotionally available when I was younger, and then after you have your heart kind of stomped on enough times, you're just kind of like, well, whether you want to or not, you're going to be very protectionary, and it spills over even to today after I've been in a relationship a very long time.
Yeah.
So I would just say that to say this, that it's kind of like for men and women it's different, but my general advice would be find someone that you can deal with long enough to break through some of that stuff, because it's better. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's always going to be a honeymoon phase, but after that period, it's going to be very rough. And I mean, I heard stories of people who say, "Oh, marriage has been great and there's no problems." I mean, I think that that's got to be exceedingly rare, if that's even true. And I would be happy to hear other people's opinion of that take that I have.
It just depends. If you find the right person, then that can
What?
easily be the case.
If somebody says that they're like in this like all happy romantic, everything's great marriage, they're full of shit and they're lying.
I had that. I had that for almost 7 years, but we had to work at it. Like we laid a foundation for it. And we had to
That's the thing.
maintain it.
Yes, it's like
But he was
everything else.
also very
a lot of work.
compatible from the beginning. So I was doing it with a person where the chances of success were greatest from the start. So that's what I'm saying. If you find the right person, that compatibility is there, and you build enough trust and open communication and respect for each other, it's easily. Well, it was easy in my case. It felt relatively easy.
Yeah, and I have some bad advice, and then I have a question. My bad advice is find someone that you can think that you can get married, have children with, and divorce, and not destroy each other in the process with. Like, prepare yourself for the end is kind of my attitude, which is bad advice, but I still find it's like,
It's probably realistic advice, though.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm just saying, like, based on most people that I know, I would say that that's my general advice to people. Don't take it in a personal way, even this advice, but it's just the reality of the way things are. And my other question to Jeff would be, what do you think the problem with your relationship came down to at the end? Because I have a feeling that it's something similar to what I just described, if you don't want me saying so.
Oh, he died. He died.
Yeah,
It was
well,
natural causes. Otherwise, we'd still be together.
I'm sorry about that. I didn't know that, so I apologize.
Yeah,
But Emerald, are you like, how long does it take you to realize that the guy is not the right guy, and then do you still stay attached even though intellectually you know that this is not the one? Because I go out of my way to like identify very early if they're not the right one, and then cut it off and filter them out so that I don't get entangled.
I've always had that tug of war between my heart and mind. So like when I first entered the dating world, I was like kind of what Jack described as like super emotionally available, like heart on my sleeve kind of woman. Like I was like, I just entered the dating world like not thinking I had to impress anyone. I could just read books and talk about philosophy. I was on a different planet. Like I was like, and I didn't date in high school. Like I just was focusing on my grades and achievements and stuff. So I came into the dating world at 18, like, oh my God, like this is so exciting. And over time, I kind of inadvertently learned like my true self was like not socially acceptable, like thinking and reading a lot and all these things. So I started learning like how to like mask those traits. So now when I meet a guy, my impulse is still to like almost put on this mask of like,
I still wouldn't do that. I think if you have to put on a mask for somebody, then
yeah, I try not to.
It
Like
doesn't
I've
sound
been
it
really
doesn't sound like
good.
you've really been into any of these guys, though.
Yeah.
I don't hear us. I mean, maybe I'm wrong, and maybe you're just really good at masking emotionally. But you seem so casual and cool about all these guys and everything that's happened. You don't seem. I don't hear any heartbreak in there. You seem like disappointment and curiosity as to why is what I hear. but I could be
Yeah.
missing that. You know, if you're really heartbroken over some of them, you know, I understand that, and I don't mean to dismiss or be dismissive about anything like that if that's happened to you, but I just don't get the impression that that you've really been that terribly upset about. And I'm saying that as a compliment to you, and also the fact that maybe you just have to find somebody that you really do like a lot. Like you like them more than just like, I think they're a cool person, they seem nice or something. You know,
Yeah. I think you're
someone
right.
that
Like
really makes you feel something just from that way. I mean, I'm not saying you have to be in love, because that's just an overused shitty thing to expect from, but just someone that just really interests you as for who they are, just like you want to be interested in who you are. And I think you gotta be yourself around people. You have a good personality. You have nothing to worry about. You're pretty. You have a good personality. You know, we yeah, you run into these red pill types that have got their brain worms in, you know, and you're gonna have a different experience with those kind of guys. But um,
Well, oh, go ahead.
no, go ahead, please.
Well, I'll give you another piece of it, bad advice. Like sometimes you need to meet a sometimes you need to meet a bad person who will be honest with you than a good person who will hide from you. Does that make sense? That you
yeah.
need to be with them forever, but sometimes they teach you things about life that you might not otherwise meet. And I think that's why a lot of women are attracted to older bad guy types, because they teach them a lot and then they become wiser, and then they can actually, go forward. And again, I'm not saying that that's ideal, but what I'm saying is, what do they say about love? All is permissible in love and war. And I guess that's kind of the way I look at things. If I were to be non-religious and non-sentimental about things.
I think also
Damn,
to answer. Oh, go ahead.
I think you just described my marriage.
But to answer Jeff's question, I think that's the issue is when I get connected to a guy, I have like a lot of patience. So part of me is like, okay, I'm willing to stick through this, like to see if I'll like develop really strong feelings. And that's been the trap that I continuously fall in, is like I'm in this waiting period of like, no, I'm gonna really feel something for them. It's just a matter of time. Because then I
Even
feel
if you can
bad.
tell they're not the right one, or
Yeah,
that
because
there's no long term
I
potential.
talk to other people and it's like they go on like maybe 3 to 10 dates and they find the one or whatever it is. And it's like, it's something broken in me that I'm like not getting. Like, does that make sense? Like, I'm not like getting super attached and connected and like that emotion Chris is talking about where it's like I'm like blowing up their phone or like caring deeply. You know what I mean?
Well, I'll say one more bad advice or one more thing about that, and I'll let it go. But really quick, I would say like, um, oh man, I lost the point. But yeah, say that last point you said one more time and see if I can get it back. You said something about okay, sorry, I got it. So what I would say is pretty much like I have like a 10-minute rule in general with people that I'm attracted to. If I'm not attracted to you in the first 10 minutes, I probably will never gain a foothold to like you more. Does that make sense? And I think that's and that sounds brutal, but I found it in general like people get a good sense of each other, agree as far as attractedness to each other really quickly. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
but a lot of times there will be attraction, but it'll never go anywhere. And this is why I talked about married women. Like there's a lot of married women that we have a lot of attraction with each other, but we can't take it anywhere. You see what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I'm just using it as an example. It's partially because of the situation that we're in, where we already know that going in, so we don't have to hold anything back. And I think that finding a situation where you're both on some sort of level just as much as the initial attraction. And I know that I'm butchering that point, but hopefully it makes some sense.
It rarely takes me more than 1 or 2 dates to know if this is a person I want to be with. So if
Yeah,
it's like
sure.
you're on like 5 or 6 dates and you're still not sure, you have no clear
I've always
sign.
Yeah.
been this way. That's what's
Well,
weird.
I'll mention one other thing really quick. And again, this is bad advice, but I have to say it because I find it to be true. 1 or 2 dates before sex, there's probably not going to be anything really there. Sorry to say that, but and this is where I divulge from. I'm different than Christians, and again, like I'm not saying it's ideal, but what I'm saying is the reality is if you're not willing to jump into bed with this person and try to take it further, then it's just not going to go anywhere, in my opinion. And again, there might be exceptions to that, but I just don't think it takes that long to figure out if you're willing to have a kid with someone or not. You know what I mean? Like, of course, you might get down the road, horrible human being, but even if that's the case, you found something very attractive in this horrible human being, and you got to see why that might be about you, just as much as blaming the other person. You know what I mean? I know that's a weird
Yeah.
way to put it, but again, it lines up with my experience.
It just won't exactly apply to her because she's already stated she doesn't know. She said she doesn't know how she feels about children, so she hasn't made up her mind. Putting her in that position probably not a good idea. She has to make up her mind first before she can make up her mind about another person.
Well, what I'm saying is, if you're not willing to risk jumping into bed with someone, that's a risk in and of itself, particularly for a woman, right? So I'm just saying, like, if you're not willing to take the risk for that, then everything else kind of not going to really matter. You know what I mean?
We're gonna have a whole.
I
we're gonna have
only
a whole
agree.
episode. Oh, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I only agree. Sorry, I only agree with that if it's traditional dating. That's the problem. That's really what it boils down to. Is you're either doing this modern dating bullshit where everybody's fucking lying to everybody, and
Is that the
which
red
case,
pill start pickup
yeah,
line?
yeah. If you're going down that path, like, forget it. Don't even date. All you're going to do is just make your own self frustrated for the rest of your life. The traditional concept of dating is really for a specific goal. You define your goal first, then you go out on the dates, kind of thing. That's kind of like that. That seems to be the disconnect. Now, I get that modern technology, like everybody's on the damn internet, kind of thing, but yeah, I kind of oppose that. My dating was a little bit weird. When I met my wife, 3 dates, then she moved in.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
That's
it was
bad.
like,
Did you meet her on the internet?
no. Well, I wouldn't. Any girl that I run into the internet, I'm not meeting you in real life. I don't trust you.
Oh.
But then again, I'm a paranoid person too, right? This is like where you would go to look. For me, is real easy. The only reason I really wanted to get married was because I wanted kids. Changed my mind after the first one, but I mean, like that was the goal. Like, that was the thing that I wanted, right? So it was like real simple. All I have to do is find a woman that would appear to be a good mom. Aside from that, everything else is doable. Like, I can fix my own problems. I can deal with, some of her problems. To me, it was just kind of like a problem-solving situation that I had to go through to get the thing that I wanted. Simple.
Yeah. Actually, I just want to back you up. I had a very similar attitude. And again, that doesn't mean that I didn't like the person that I chose. But overall, I had a goal in mind and I stuck to my goal. And that that higher order goal, dictated how I would react when things got tough. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, I know I personally, when I was looking for a relationship, and I really like this this comment from John here about how jumping into bed doesn't have to be the intimacy threshold, but some sort of intimacy threshold has to be crossed. That's a really good point. I think that makes something I hadn't really thought about in that sense, but you're absolutely right. If after 1 or 2 dates, the intimacy threshold could simply be as something as like a touch, something that's really tender, but you have that spark, that moment. I think he's right. If after you've hung out or kind of been around each other for a certain amount of time, if that intimacy threshold isn't crossed, it's probably not going to. I think that still lines up with what Jack was saying too. I think he was saying as jump into bed, but it's that sense, But I think there's something. I lost my point. Yeah, I hate this brain fog shit.
No, I'm reading the second comment as well. I mean, the third comment and the last comment as well, and I think that's very true. You know, men and women are looking for different things for different reasons, and you know, like particularly for women, like you said, resource status and protection are important, and it doesn't necessarily needs to be the case in every single situation, but the perception that you have those things is very important, right? Like, why do women like a lot of deadbeat guys, but those deadbeat guys have an attitude of they're invincible or whatever? Well, it's because the attitude overrides the place that they're actually in. You see what I'm saying?
Mm.
Like their confidence exudes those things in spite of them maybe not actually having those traits, right? And you know, that's a subtle point, but I think it's very important. And I think that also considering like, how are my parents gonna like them? How are my friends gonna like them? And am I okay with my family not accepting this person if I like them, right? So you got to really, you know, kind of, you know, pick your horse and stick to it in a certain sense, right? And I think that that's the hard part for people to do now. I mean, you're 10 years younger than me, Emerald, but you know, it's, you know, you got to find a guy who's just going to be like straight up and be like, this is the way it's going to be, and you're either going to get on board or not. I mean, you know, maybe you don't like a guy like that, but what women want, and that was not a natural thing for me. It's something I had to like learn over time, you know. And I think that you have to kind of, if you're going to date a guy your own age, you're probably going to have to find some patience within you to kind of wait for that to evolve rather than look for it to be there, if that makes any sense.
I still got to try this out. Hey, Emerald. Can you cook? Like, are you pretty decent cook?
Yeah, I can cook.
Are you really good at coffee? Because I hate a coffee machine. Like, I hate touching the damn thing.
Yeah,
It
I love
hates
coffee.
me. I hate it.
I make coffee every morning.
All right, cool. Okay. All right. So you and I can date, right? So I'll lay it down here. It's real simple. Basically, I hate washing the dishes. I have to do it constantly. I hate mopping floors, but I'm anal retentive about floors because I got like white tile and I can always see hair and stuff and it bothers the shit out of me. So it's real simple. I don't ever want to clean floors or dishes. I'll do everything else. Just those two things just bother the shit out of me. So like, jump on board.
What?
Can I mention
Neuro,
something?
it didn't work. What the hell am I doing wrong, Neuro?
You set a
that-
lower
that
bar
doesn't
than
sound-
it makes good for, but I think
You
that
know,
would work for a lot of people.
That sounds like a joke, but actually, those kind of little things really do make a difference. Like, I am very good at cleaning, but I hate doing it. In a similar way, like, I can clean the bathroom better than anybody else. But the fact that my wife will do it for me and I don't have to do it is a big deal to me, because I don't. It's because if it's my bathroom and it's only us who use it, jump down and clean the whole thing. If anybody else ever uses the bathroom, I really don't like to share a bathroom with anybody else in the family, right? So, you know, it's like these little things that you think aren't important, but they do add up. And I think that that's very important. Like, getting to know people on those little minute details helps you bond and stuff. So, you know, I think that it's funny he says that, but I think that people should think on that level. Like, is your mother-in-law like gonna like, you know, give a problem every time your husband comes to your house? You know, like, that's an important question to ask.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I forgot all about the mother-in-law. Emerald, tell me about your mom. What's she like? Is she very dominating?
I don't want
Does
to
she
talk about
visit
my
us?
mom.
That's a whole conversation
Yeah.
in itself.
Damn. So, like, my
Canuck.
mom.
Oh, go ahead.
I'll warn you straight up. Like, my mom is she's an old type of Italian woman. She's real scary, basically, right? So like, I'm not allowed to have a maid. I want one. Like, that the only thing that stops me from getting a maid isn't my wife, but my actual mom. Like, she's laid down the law and says, like, if I find out you have a maid, I will fly to Vietnam and then throw you off your balcony.
What? That's
What?
crazy.
Yeah, my mom's never gonna allow it.
Your mom's scary.
But you're a grown man in your own home.
So
Why
I
is
mean,
your mom
obviously,
still dictating what you do.
in defense of the crazy old hag, right? I mean, in defense, I got to put it out there, right? There was this idea that if you have something, it's your job and responsibility to maintain it. And thus, you're not really allowed to kind of like get, I don't know, content within your own existence. You know, you're not allowed to get to so comfortable that you just kind of like neglect that. Otherwise, you do like what she does and just get a whole bunch of shit and just keep stockpiling it. I mean, it comes to the problems. I guess it's what she's trying to like teach, I suppose. But I don't really think of that while I'm mopping the floors.
What does she have to teach you at your age? Like, that's
Everything.
like some role confusion.
Yeah, it's just she's an old lady, like 74 years old. She has plenty to teach. I haven't filed my own taxes since I was 19 years old. She's the one that kind of oversees. Do what?
I said, if you want a maid, I would get the maid.
I would, but I value my life more than I value the
woman fly to Vietnam, and
how would she ever find out? I mean,
do whatever she.
Oh, my wife would snitch on me quicker than shit. My
well,
my mom and my wife
would sabotage having a maid.
Yes.
Is your wife an agent working for your mother's intelligence agency or something?
Probably. Probably. They get along
situation or something.
They get along really well. So
who did Arnold Schwarzenegger have a love child with?
The nanny.
The maid.
There you go.
In real life.
Yeah.
Oh.
His mother is smart, and any woman in Southeast Asia that doesn't have her man's balls deeply, deeply, deeply in the secret pocket of her purse would not let her man have a maid, at least not one that is fertile.
I don't know if that woman that Arnold Schwarzenegger slept with was, man, that was, I mean, he's Schwarzenegger. He could have had an affair with anybody, right?
Bill Burr has a comedy routine that goes into that and explains it in a perfect way.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've heard that one. I thought I'd seen all those stand-ups, at least his specials. But
I wanted to mention something on a meta level about arranged marriages and you know, whether there's an intimacy threshold and why parental approval is kind of so important. I guess civilizationally, it's kind of like a feedback mechanism for the whole society at large. It's like a heuristic. Are our marriages functional? Are our young people finding mates that will help, you know, continue social stability? Or I'm going to use the R word here in the clinical sense. Or is there a retardation in how we raise children or how certain feedback loops are operating? It's a way to detect dysfunction in your society. What do we see all around us? Organic, engineered, nudged, both, all of it? Yes, we're immensely complicated, but we often don't think in terms of civilizational timeframes. We've been encouraged to be very selfish, to be consumers of everything, and to outsource all the hard stuff.
I don't think in civilizational timeframes at all. That's just not practical.
Few of us do, but to do with a dearth of it, or if there's an insufficient level, you will find signs of dysfunction in your society. Look at Persia, China, and India. You have civilizational continuity to an arguable degree that is significant for 3,000-4,000 years in some cases.
That's an interesting point.
Well, I'm a proud Westerner.
I was curious though. The thing you said about the intimacy threshold was is that something? Is this your own insight or is that from something? I'm just curious because it sounds like a term.
Honest to goodness, I just typed that now because it bubbled up out of my experiences of life and analysis of people.
It's really insightful. It really.
I mean,
is.
I've recently become turned onto the subject of systems thinking and other things like that, and now that I have enough experience in life, I can see the practical applications of systems thinking. But had I learned systems thinking first, I think I would have missed out on the emotional instincts that I've developed through my life. I think that's an important part of being like a neural wet creature with a limbic system and emotions and so on.
Right. I think there's a lot of things like that in life that as much as we try to like choose the right life or try to engineer certain things to be a certain way, that there's just no helping certain things. I was thinking about this with what we were talking about. You're talking about the Emerald, where you're saying like you date somebody and you keep dating them, thinking that at some point you'll start to gain that kind of familiarity, that kind of feeling for them. And I was thinking about that. And I was like, I do know a few people who didn't like each other that much at first, but they ultimately kind of fell in love and got together later on. And in every situation I can think of like that, it's always a work or some sort of like activity based partnership they end up starting with. When you're kind of in a forced intimacy with that person on a regular basis, like you're like a workmate or something like that, and they end up really do falling for each other and having really good relationships. But I don't think there's a way to fake that. It's like if there's not some external thing forcing you to spend time with this person, you'll never actually learn that person that you fall in love with, because you try to force that in a dating context, just keep going and going, thinking that something's gonna click. It won't be the same thing. Plus, you're not seeing them in any kind of natural environment. You're always in that date mode, right? So I don't think there's a way to fake that, which sucks, because I think that's probably a way a lot of people would normally find mates, but you'd have to find some sort of activity type thing, like Jack was asking about, if you go hiking and things like that, if you join some kind of group or some sort of community type thing. This is why communities are so important. This is why community is the answer to everything we're talking about, because if communities exist and are where you are that you can be a part of, it actually solves these relationship issues. Because when you're in a community and you get to know somebody, you get to see them interacting with other people that you care about. You might try just joining a church, even if you're not religious, even if you don't believe in God. You'll find a lot of churches that just will give you some community. It'd be probably the best way to. And there's a good chance there'll be a creep if you meet them at church, but there's also a good chance they won't be. That they actually believe in the religious stuff. They actually believe in the morality of it, and they might just be a better person than you might find otherwise. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been in church long. I don't go to church myself. So I'm just saying this is from, I've been talking to a lot of people that have been talking about going to church and stuff like that, even if they're not a believer. There's a friend of ours from the Discord, Ron, and he talks a lot about going to his local church and how he's involved in that community, and I think that's really fascinating to me. I mean,
Chris, you used the word natural. I think that's very, very important. 3 words: show, don't tell. Dating today is all about telling other people who and what you are, not showing it, right?
right?
It's
Yeah.
like when a name is on the tip of your tongue, and the more you try and discern it in your own mind, the more it slips away. When you unfocus and just allow yourself to be, this is a mystery. I don't understand this. I don't even know if it's just mumbo jumbo bullshit. But when Eastern mystics and other or so on say, don't think about it, just like Yoda, there is no try, there is do or do not, right? Show, don't tell. Just show people that you're interested in, that you're interested. Just show it, embody it, live it, manifest it. And that's all new agey bullshit sounding, but the more I say it, the more it feels right. And I don't
Well,
date anymore. I'm out of the market. I'm consigned to that fact. I can still appreciate the physical beauty of women, but because of my own problems, I have no desire to enter into any long-term relationship now. My
Are you
time is
single?
done. I am. I suffer deeply from unrequited wounds, from unrequited love. I'm out of the market. But all of my friends who got married early on are fucking unhappy. The ones who never got married and ended up just in long-term relationships from time to time, right? Serial monogamy, seem to have been happiest. I sowed my wild oats in artificial ways, and I had some uh, proper dating and romantic experiences, but there was unrequited love, be it from me or expected of me. And it's a shitty thing, but it leaves such lasting wounds. Some people choose to move on. This kind of explains why you have hermits and monks and nuns and other people. They dedicate that aspect of their mind and soul and energy and procreative urges into other things. And again, that has a civilizational feedback, right? There's something going on at meta levels we can't dimly perceive. We can only dimly perceive. We don't have to, because it's like modem signal from back in the 80s. You know what the purpose is of it. You don't speak modem. right? You could describe it, you know what it's for, but it's not meaningful to in a purely human contest or a meaningful human context. And I'm rambling. I'm sorry.
Okay, yes. So show don't tell and conduct dating. I'm gonna reject it as new agey bullshit because you said for yourself that you didn't see it work.
I think show don't tell works very well as a man trying to attract a woman. I think for a woman, honestly, you're better off just telling them that you're into them, to be honest, because guys like me, I found out like years later in many different cases that there was girls that I actually was really into when I was younger, and I found out like years and years later, after we're all in relationships, that that they were really into you, like you just didn't get the signals or something. Dudes are stupid. We don't get signals very well, even if we claim they do. I don't know. It might be different for gay men. I don't know, but it's, for straight dudes just don't read signals from
So-
women well at all. So
So men just
talking-
communicate
how
properly.
do
They
you
use
mix-
their words. Men use their words, so it's not that it's easy to catch a signal because they actually say something. With women, they just throw their hair around, and it's actually you don't know until you make an approach. It's they don't send any signals. They just deny if they don't like it, or just pretend to deny if they're stupid.
How do you miss the signals, Chris? Because like I'm finding it really hard. Like I've gotten really good skill at dodging frying pans. Like they go flying. Like I mean, I don't know how you missed that set.
yeah, I'm talking more like the younger when I was in my early 20s, late teens kind of time, and when girls don't give you the good signals like the frying pans and stuff. Those are the kinds I longed for, to know that they cared that much to waste a good frying pan on me. But unfortunately, I was never that lucky. So yeah, so John, you point out in the thing that says like show don't tell is meant in the context of bonding with someone. It's hard to bond in artificial environments. I do agree with that. I do think in general, it's always best to meet people in activity-based things, especially if it's a shared activity. I ultimately didn't meet my wife that way, but I think that if I were to become single again, and that's not going to happen, but if I were, that's what I would do. I would go to any kind of like social type thing like that. I would go there because if I was dating, I'd be dating to find another partner. Not I have 2 kids. I'd be looking for someone who wouldn't be mind having kids. There's all sorts of complications that come with that, and so I mean it would be a different situation. But that's what I would do. I'd go to a church or something like that probably.
Dude, I got to double down on the community concept because it's like I don't know. It's like let's just so you get involved within your community. One, that's like a really good business venture. That's actually how you business network. This is how you get involved and find out things that you can operate your own business with. That way you can get away from that 9-to-5 grind, right? Because retirement comes up and kicks the crap out of you. You have to do something else other than this standard 9-to-5 shit. Doesn't tend to work out so well in retirement. But like while you're going through and doing that, you're really not wasting time. Like if you're just, okay, I'm going into this event, I don't know, hanging out with the older people and trying to feed them in the community. That's like a big problem with us or in my town, right? So you get involved and you're doing that, like you might be cooking at the fire station, right? And so now you're with all of these same type of people, right? Everybody's looking for something. So what? You happen to, okay, I see a girl, I'm going to go date her and just go see how that works out. It's not even a waste of time. You're doing 2 things at the same time. Works well. I'd call that efficiency.
Yeah, I agree. I think any kind of community you can get involved in that, especially if it's something that interests you. Like a church may not be the right thing for you. I think it's an easy one you can find anywhere. But yeah, I think we're all kind of saying the same. I know Jeff is one of the biggest boosters of the God concept of community on the planet, and like I am too, pretty much at this point. And I just don't. And this is as someone who doesn't really. My community is here online right now, but in the past, I've
Mine
always
too.
formed my communities. I've always formed communities around me, like everywhere I've gone. It's something I've always craved. So, But I do believe it's so important. It's vitally important. I mean, honestly, Emerald, you might have better luck coming onto the streams with us, and you might have better luck finding a good man like that.
That's what I was thinking.
Because I think there's probably a lot of eligible men in these circles in general, and a lot of them are probably pretty smart, good people, and you'll get a good
But we're
chance
the
to see how
single
they react,
men.
interact.
Yeah, are there any
Have I
single
met
men out
any of
there?
the single
know?
I'm
men?
right
on this
here. I'm
show.
single right
Not on-
now.
Oh, that's right. Hank is. Sorry. My bad.
We got one.
Oh, I'm single 6 months out of the year. Does that count?
What?
Of course it does.
Ah,
Well, maybe if we get larger, because we talked about doing local chapters anyway with several of these communities. So if the virtual gets large enough, there's potential. Especially you're in one of the larger areas. So who knows what will spill over into real life?
For real.
what's the larger area?
Oh, where Emerald is.
Chicago.
Oh, where is it? Where?
This means larger
Chicago.
population. Yeah.
Oh, you can keep Chicago. New York's bad enough. Yeah.
Do you live I mean, just curious because I've only been in Chicago once for a week for training when I used to work for Amtrak, and I was there during a blizzard. We were staying downtown and downtown Chicago, not too far from the Amtrak building there. So, I just didn't know if do you live in that downtown, anywhere near that downtown area of Chicago? You live in the suburbs because like that was the craziest city experience I've ever had. Like cabs would drive up the sidewalk and shit.
Yeah.
It was madness everywhere we went. So I just didn't know if you lived. That's out of pure curiosity. If you lived anywhere near that, or if you live more in a more, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm 20 minutes from the downtown area, but I'm in a suburb somewhere by Brookfield Zoo, if you're familiar with that area.
I don't remember any of the city names anymore.
Yeah.
So, that's been what, 16, 17 years. So long time ago.
But honestly, the guys downtown, because when I first entered the dating scene, that's who I targeted, guys in coffee shops downtown, and they're a different breed.
Well, that's true.
They're just a lot of them are pretentious and know-it-alls. You find a lot of those.
Coffee shop people are their own breed of trash. Sorry, I said that out loud. Apologize.
No, I would say they're trash too. So there you go.
I have a question.
I to hang in a coffee shop when I was 16. I can't imagine doing it now.
Yeah, we used to hang out at them too. I'm probably
How the hell do you guys stay warm in Chicago?
A good question. Heaters, basically. Have the heat on
Are they
constantly.
Like electrical heaters? Is that what you mostly
electrical.
use? Holy shit,
Yeah.
that electric bill. No, I would
Super
cry.
high.
See,
it's not
I'm a skinny dude. I don't do really well in the cold, right? But upstate New York is, well, that's where my home is, right? So I kind of finally figured out I'm not in the city, anywhere near the city. My property is it's a lot of property. And so it's just easy to kind of get a good workout cutting a tree down, and then you got to quarter it and stack it and all that stuff. So that keeps you warm. And then, by the time you drag some wood in the house, you got at least the option of using a wood stove. Works really, really well. You city people, I can't figure out how the hell you guys don't die of, I don't know, popsicle death or something.
It was
lot of
cold,
them
it was
do
cold as
actually.
shit when I was there.
If they don't have a place to live, a lot of them do indeed die a popsicle death.
It is true. I was curious. I was trying to think if I don't know. I mean, it's a different type of people that live in cities, honestly, than live in smaller towns. So that's not really something, you can't just go move to a small town in hopes you're going to have one of those Hallmark movie things happen to you, right? But
I secretly wish that, because my uncle just bought a house in Tennessee, and I'm I'm gonna go get my Hallmark rom-com.
Hey, it might be worth it might be. You never. The thing is to do. I think the thing is with relationships, in my experience, which isn't the most extensive experience, but the experience of other people I've known as well. I just don't think there's a strategy that necessarily works. If you're looking just to get laid, yeah, there's strategies that people follow.
You could do that anywhere.
Successful.
I
Yeah,
feel
anywhere. But for relationships, I think you just got to find the thing that you want to do, the thing that you got to keep your eyes on, and be open to meeting people. But it's like I don't know that it's really necessary to like look for it. Really, I think you just gotta like be out there, especially if you're in a social position or job or anything like that. Just be outgoing, be
Yeah.
social, and be open to meeting people. And as long as you keep your eyes on the thing that you're really going for, be it your education or your career, whatever it is, whatever you're really passionate about, what you care about, the thing that makes you happy, focus on that, and you're gonna end up finding someone that fits into your life a lot better that way, I think, than really honestly trying to date or something. If you just try to meet somebody in a physical space too, that always is a big plus in my opinion. Try to meet people in person much more than try to meet them online. Like, yeah, I met my wife online, so I'm kind of a hypocrite like that. But I met other people. That's the only person I've ever met online, though. Everybody else I met, and I met her because I was moving to Las Vegas to work for this director on a film, and I was looking for friends in that area. So I didn't even really go into it dating. We were friends first. So
I think
no,
that's key too, being friends first, really getting a feel for their personality.
yeah,
Well,
it's
that's part
probably
of
fine.
dating too.
Yeah.
See
I mean,
what it
if
turns
it's someone
into.
you're just not attracted to, I mean, in a situation where you're kind of a forced intimacy type thing, like you're in a work situation or something like that with that person, I could see those kind of things. But if you're not attracted to them right away, in a friend group type scenario, unless you guys are doing completely other things, it's not about the two of you, then in those situations, yeah, something might spark. But I mean, for the most part, you're not attracted. You're not going to be attracted to them. Certainly not in a dating. It's kind of
Yeah.
a problem with dating, I think, as an idea in a lot of ways. It puts that it's just like everyone's been saying it, but it's just the community thing is so key. It really is. And it really sucks for people today because community is the one thing that I think is lacking the most in the world. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
one of the things me and Jeff have talked about. It's one of the things that like we both believe that is so important in society and everything else.
No, the communities are still there. They're just very exploitative of you. So
Well, it
your
depends.
work
There's
community,
so many
some
types of
political
communities.
places, okay, communities, but they just want you for a battery to power some madman's idea.
Well, I don't know if that's all communities.
It's not all communities, but it is most of the communities you have easy access to.
You have to give us an example.
Trumpism, the Tea Party.
Oh, you definitely should not like your opening move within dating should not be political. Hey, baby, you got your MAGA hat on, and if not, fuck you. I mean,
Well, that shows shared values, though. Like, I'm definitely gonna date a non-woke person over a woke person.
oh, they're real easy to identify. They all have purple hair.
Yeah,
or
I used
some
to have
kind of
purple
color.
hair too, but I'm definitely not gonna date a purple hair.
I don't know,
Not
I'm a
now.
little
Not
confused on the. I'm confused on the attraction concept.
Well, I
What?
look good when I had my purple hair. I look good. I had a purple mohawk. I think I look pretty good.
See, I just consider this to
Probably
be a
do.
problem to be overcome, right? Like, everybody's attractive when you turn the lights off. I mean, like, you can imagine whoever. So I don't
Oh,
I
you can
don't get
find
what the
I-
problem is
when I-
here.
you can
When I
find
meant
it.
attraction, I
no,
wasn't
not
talking about just
everybody.
physically, though. I've been attracted to their personality,
Oh, okay.
into them as a
I have
person.
too, and I've had people that I wasn't physically attracted to in the beginning and became attracted to their personality
Yeah.
over time, and it turned into physical attraction as a result.
But if you're attracted to them physically and you're specifically not attracted to their personality, that's just going to become more toxic over time. You're not going to. You're probably not going to learn to love their shitty personality, right?
No,
I'm just
I
saying, like,
could.
I'm just saying, like,
No
yes,
way.
you can find someone physically attractive after you get to know them and stuff like that. Just like, but so like the initial like thinking that person attractive physically speaking isn't really that important, but it is for. I think their personality has got to be the first thing
Yeah.
there. It's like a girl who might be really hot, and I've met girls like this before that were really, really hot, and but their personality right away starts grating on me. The longer you get to know them, the fact that they're hot is actually something that you almost hate about them later on because it seems like it's just so wasted on such an awful personality, you know?
First of all, they have to have a personality, and second of all, it has to be one that doesn't repulse me.
I might be a little bit confused on that one too. I don't really spend a lot of time to talking to my wife. Her personality revolves
Yeah,
around
but you have
me.
a very non-traditional setup.
Oh, yeah, that's true. True.
You're
Yeah.
going cross cultural too. That's a big hard hurdle for most people to get over. I mean, most people
Oh,
wouldn't get
but
that far with a cross
um,
cultural thing.
oh, I just got your message. There's.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think
said
he's
there-
gonna come on. I don't think he's
Okay.
gonna come on.
I
I'm
was
reading
just
it too.
I was just saying there's
Yeah,
always,
we
like,
might have
like
Rowan on Thursday to talk extensively about the history of Israel and
Well, what's the
try to
deal with?
approach it from more of an intellectual level. But before that, I'm trying to take a break from Israel so that I can save up for that
Well,
conversation.
that's why I
because
said
I'm
I
going to
was
get
just
burnt out
joking.
on it.
I was
Yep.
just joking. Yeah.
Well, what is the deal? Like, what's the problem? Like with the contention of like everything around Israel? Is it really just morals? Like it's always a moral argument.
It's a Rorschach because people are bringing their own shit to it and projecting it onto it. So it just depends on what personal lens you're looking through and applying to that situation. Some people see Israel as imperialist, oppressive, colonizer, whatever. There's even white supremacy. Some people see it like I do as an enlightened liberal democracy that is of great value to have in that region. So it really just some people are like the compassionate concern for the innocent and children, and somehow the atrocities that Hamas committed takes less of a priority than the idea of innocent children suffering. So all of the atrocities that Israel suffered is somehow eclipsed by the fact that innocent children are going to be harmed because their compassion string gets pulled. So it just is different for each person. There's almost no way to be objective about it.
Plus, it's a great chance for a lot of people to start purity spiraling and purity testing people. I think that's what's going on.
And virtue signaling too.
Yeah.
So people are playing out their own little value battles.
What is that purity testing? What is that?
That's what the woke do.
Yeah,
it's a way to weed people out of your circles. You know, you find out that they're not pro-Palestine enough, and suddenly you don't have to speak to them anymore. It's a great experience.
Because Palestine are oppressed brown people. So the same people that are like BLM came out of support of them and DSA. So it's a chance to look like you're concerned for the oppressed. So they're going to be they're going to displace the trans as the new bottom of the oppression pyramid.
Yeah. So I watched a Sam Backman video, and he depicted the Israel-Palestine conflict as a war of oppression Olympics, because both sides seem to have victims and stuff.
Yeah, and they're both trying to get sympathy for their cause.
Wait,
but
what is Emerald drinking? I can tell you right now why you're single. What are you drinking, Emerald?
An energy drink.
Oh, okay. See. Now you might think it's about the energy drink. It's not. It's the fact that we don't have energy drinks, right? This is why you're single. There's no sharing going on here. I'm thirsty.
You want some?
Don't you?
There you go.
Email it to me, please. Why does it look like
Okay.
it's Pepsi? I don't know that brand. Okay.
Here you go. Everyone can have some. Pass it around.
Thank you. See,
That's why I'm single.
Is that Red Bull?
You don't
Now
know how do you not know Prime?
Jesus, because I pretty much march all over the planet, and I don't stick places too long. Not enough to get acquainted with brand names. An energy drink, I've seen everything from Bull, Sting to I don't know. I just get tired of looking at it. To me, it's all the same thing. Energy drink. But I've got my energy drink. It's called liquid cocaine, also known as Vietnamese coffee. Right? It's the same thing.
No, because liquid cocaine actually doesn't taste as good. So
I don't think Vietnamese coffee without the I guess they have the iced milk coffee thing, but without whatever that cream stuff is, yeah, it'd pretty much kill you. Like I mean, the taste of it would just knock your head off.
I want to try it now. Why aren't you sharing?
Well, so you need to understand something about myself. I am a greedy capitalist. I'm not real big on that whole sharing thing, right? Yeah. When you share in my house chores, I will share my coffee. I believe relationships
pretty high bar.
You
to
wanted
be
her to
honest.
make coffee earlier. You're not going to share.
I'm the one making you coffee. What? are you doing?
Is
What are
this
you bringing to the
toxic
table?
This
Yeah,
is-
I think
You're
we
witnessing
found the
it.
toxic masculine.
So remember, Neuro gave that advice as you need
Not
to
the
date
record
the
deal, but-
asshole to know what the good guy is. I'm just
That's
here to teach you what
you.
the asshole is.
Yeah, we're gonna do a whole episode on bad advice from Neuro Jack.
That was
It'll be a
funny.
weekly feature.
I'll be the bad guy. It's no
Bad
problem.
advice from Joshua Jones. It'd be kind of like the Jack Handy thing, like the
Oh,
deep
deep
thoughts
thoughts.
or deep thoughts or something. Be like bad advice from Joshua Jones.
Oh God, I'm gonna burn in hell. It'll be a fun ride down, though. I'll give you that one.
Oh my god.
Well, I guess we fixed Emerald's life, so that's good.
Thank you.
We
I
didn't
have a
fix it.
partner
'Cause
now,
we're gonna be on
magically.
here next week talking about the same thing with another guy,
I know.
or maybe even the same guy.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Yeah,
I am
next week
curious.
I'll-
I will. You said you have a date coming up, like tomorrow, though, right? Tell us
I have a
about
date
that.
tomorrow, and I'm terrified to go on it because it's another guy.
Oh,
from
with a
the
different guy?
online app.
Wait, why?
Yeah,
Why are you
Yeah, it's
terrified?
a different guy.
Is he a gamer?
Because now I'm scared. He's not a gamer.
Why? Why are
I
you
don't
terrified?
know.
Oh, that's
But
too
why are you
bad.
scared, though? What's scaring you?
This whole conversation. Because now I'm thinking I should meet someone naturally.
Oh God, no.
Well, what's the background on him? You met him on a site, and
Yeah, I met him on a site. He's a software developer. He's more philosophical. He's a writer. He's funny from his text at least. He claims he's compassionate and caring, but he may just be telling me bullshit. So I'm not getting my
Yeah,
hopes
that's
up
bullshit.
too high.
I mean, have you seen
well,
salt?
no,
have you
wait,
seen
see
sulfur
if he
lately?
supports
It's
Palestine.
garbage. It's hot garbage. They don't give a
You
shit.
don't even know him, but this could go either way because the philosophy he could be a tech nerd.
He's a tech
He could do
nerd.
technical
I know,
writing,
yeah.
or he could do creative writing. He could do analytical philosophy, or he could do the more existential
Yeah.
type. So this really could go either way. Those are broad categories.
I know he's nerdy because he watches science YouTube videos and math YouTube videos for fun.
Oh,
What,
okay.
what site?
Well,
did
that
you
could
watch
still
it?
go either way. I
You
know
told
some
me,
pretty
nerd.
cool
I watch
mathematicians.
that stuff too.
Yeah, I think it's cool that he does, but math
What
is not
site-
my strong suit.
What site
What
did you
else
say
do
you
you
met
know?
him on?
What else do you know about him that we can go off of?
Let's see.
Does he game at all?
I don't think he games, but he does have a gaming chair, so I need to ask him if he games. Because what if he's
Ooh.
a gamer boy?
What are his hobbies?
He could just be somebody bought a cheap office chair because I had one too that I got on
Don't
sale,
defend
so-
him.
We don't know-
Yeah.
Where did
No-
you meet
no
him at again?
defense.
What app did you meet him on? What app or site?
Hinge.
On Hinge. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember that one very well.
What kind of did he talk specific books or philosophers?
No, I want to wait till the date. Because if I
What
get
di-
into
where is the date? Who set it up and where is it going to be?
I set it up. It's at this
See, that's- I
Irish pub
suspected
by
that.
me.
Did you take the lead on
Damn.
setting it up?
He asked me on the date and then I set it up.
Oh, okay.
Where are
Yeah.
y'all going?
It's called Irish Times. It's like an Irish pub restaurant. It's pretty low
Oh,
key.
okay. Yeah, that
Some
sounds
probably-
like a decent environment.
Yeah.
At least it's not a bar, so it won't be super loud, so you can actually talk. So
Have you video chatted yet, or has it all been text?
Text and then a couple Snapchat videos. So I know what his voice sounds like. Oh, and then voice notes.
Okay.
Okay.
He seems genuine, definitely way more on the nerdy side.
You think he's attractive?
And how old is he?
He's attractive. He's not like my type, I would say. He's 29.
Okay. Yeah, this
Wait.
really could go either way. I'm not hearing any major flags. so far.
What is your?
I know that's
type?
why I'm
What is your
That's
type
why he's
exactly?
there.
my
I
type
missed that
is
type.
emotion unavailable. So
Yeah.
bad boys, they
But
assholes.
you said he wasn't your. You
Oh,
said it wasn't your type.
Can you give us your
Oh,
type
I'm a
by
shoe in. Oh, the assholes! I'm a shoe in. Oh, okay. I'm already got an
Hey,
advantage
hey,
here.
can you give us your type by MBTI and Enneagram instead, so we can understand what you mean?
My type, well, MBTI I'm INTP, and then Enneagram I'm 7 wing 8.
Oh, okay.
I don't know his type. I don't even know if he's taken those personality
Probably a 5.
tests. I don't want to show
I-
up to the date giving him a personality test.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, well, yeah.
you
I'm
probably figure it out
INTJ,
yourself.
type
TJ.
5. So
What are you? I missed that.
I am an INTJ, and I'm a 5 wing 6.
Oh wow.
I've never taken those tests, so I don't know anything about.
Yeah, I don't know this guy's type.
Well,
Well,
that's
give
fine.
us
I
an
mean,
update.
you
You'll
just said
figure it out.
when I said
Friday.
as if he was attractive, you said he wasn't your type per se. I mean, so what is it you normally find attractive, and how is he different from that?
I don't know. I guess just like I usually go for blondes, and he's brunette, so that's one thing. And
Well, you can get
then
him to change his hair color. That's no big deal. Just kidding. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Well, where does that leave me?
Isn't that just really bright blonde?
Ron, we can get some white paint, right? Or we can go shave a cat and try to glue some on top. Like one way or the other, it's not a problem.
Now we're thinking.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
Do you have
I'm
any
a solutions
dating
kind of
advice,
guy.
Ron? At all?
Yeah, I'm a solutions kind of guy. I want to find solutions.
Me too.
Yeah.
Ron's single, I think. Aren't you single, Ron?
Yeah, there's only one of me.
That's the way it is with most people. So I mean, not.
Do you have any
Not most
dating
people.
advice for us?
Dating advice? I'm unqualified to give such advice.
Well, I've got some dating advice.
Yeah.
my
As an
God.
ex-
You've been
as
giving
an ex-
bad advice all night.
well, it's not. Well, ouch! Damn. It. Okay. Fine. So
You
my
gotta
dating
admit
advice
it.
is just don't do it. See, that's real simple. See, problem solved. Now we don't have dating problems. How is that? Does that solve all
That's
of the
good
problems?
advice. You fixed my life.
Negative.
What do you mean negative? Oh my god. Oh, you guys are just negative people.
Don't you have a
That's
plane
the
to
problem.
How? You've been giving some good advice.
Never listen to a damn thing I
Don't
had to
listen to
say.
anything
Just
Josh
all
says.
I can
I've
do
been
is get people in trouble.
listening. So I'm in trouble.
Well, we all are. I mean, to be fair, we all got problems. So I mean,
Well, but I'll tell you what. Here's what we'll fix it. You could just date Ron, okay, Emerald? So that we're,
Okay.
you know, the two single people.
He's
here,
in
we'll just put them
Arizona.
Or Hank, if you want, date Hank if you want too. You know, like you guys can figure it out. No, we solved it. We fixed it.
We do have
We
single
need to-
people in our
we need to
community.
share with each
Oh,
other.
there's what's spinach?
I don't-
Hey, spinach.
I'm not that picky.
well, I found the cat we can shave.
There you go. And he did have the right color hair.
Oh
So.
my
Yeah, there we
Emerald,
go.
Emerald, what do you think about redheads? I think a calico is like close to a redhead. What do you think about redhead? No, that's a no go. Damn. Sorry, Ron, your cat's safe now.
Can you shave a tiger?
Yeah, if you're man enough to go up there and touch one with a pair of clippers, yeah, I guess apparently you can do it. Get a lot of respect from the community.
Hey guys, check this out. Look, problem solved.
There you go.
That works.
I mean, you're not so shallow to like not be able to deal with the guy with the toupee, right, Emerald? So.
No, I
Anyway.
think you're doing the right thing. It sounds like you
Yeah.
chatted a bit. You did the online thing. You're moving in person. It's a chance to meet, check chemistry, get to know each other. It's very low risk.
Yeah.
And you could tell us about it on Friday.
Definitely. He sounds like a better, just in general, he's interested in stuff like that. Sounds like so far a better match for you than the last couple of guys you talked about. You know, the game.
How long have y'all been
Yeah.
chatting?
Not long. Like
Like days?
3 weeks, I think.
Oh wow, that's
Oh wow, that's
yeah,
a little,
that's
I was
pretty
lower. I
long.
was thinking. So, yeah, I think you're doing the right thing. Just keep an open mind and keep your guard up as much as you need to. But yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
It really is hard these days, though. Like, I think it's like one thing. It's like, okay, so this is a different thing, but with when divorce was not an option, like an ultimate, I'm very freedom oriented myself. So like, I'm not like some conservative type who's like, oh, we should ban a divorce or whatever. But it's kind of like, to the extent that divorce was almost not an option, like there were huge social consequences, negative like rejection to it, if you don't view it as being essentially an option almost at all, it incentivizes you to try to fix the problems and make things work way more. Because it's like if you view there
That's what Andrew Wilson says.
like it kind of makes sense, right?
But
Like
he's
if
right.
you have no way
It
out of a
doesn't mean that
situation,
divorce isn't
then it
a good
motivates
thing.
you to make the situation better. But if you do have a way out, especially if it's relatively easy, although divorce is never very easy, but like it can discourage you from even trying to fix it. It's like likewise, like I bet like if you take depression and suicide, there are some people who for them like suicide is just not an option, right? Because no matter how bad things are, they view themselves as having certain duties to the people around them, and so they could never take themselves out of the game if for no other reason than to not leave the people that depend on them behind. Well, if you're self-restricting on those grounds, you might actually be more likely, I think, to make things better for you than for someone who actually views it as being like, I guess I could do that. Like it'd be very hard. It takes a lot of courage to do that. But if you don't view it as an option, it kind of gives you no choice but to try to make things better in this life. Whereas if you have the option, well, now you have another option other than throwing everything you can at this life to make it work.
Oh, I have.
But I also wonder about
option. My more conservative option is to ban marriage and make people explicitly define their
well,
contract.
that marriage is not going anywhere anytime soon. I don't think.
Well, neither is divorce, but we could
Right.
talk about.
But I wonder what type of relationship like responds to that type of incentive that it's going to work if there's this constraint that you can't leave it versus if you can.
I mean, I don't think that what he's saying is that he doesn't think divorce should be an option. He's just saying that without divorce there, it makes people who normally might work out their marriages more likely just to cut ties and run. It's not saying that.
I think those are just a certain type of relationship that would be amenable to that incentive.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know. Maybe people that shouldn't have really got married to begin with.
I think if they give up as quickly as they do sometimes these days, then a lot of people from that in our generation wouldn't have ever been born. Is what
I don't think anybody should be in a relationship that doesn't want to be in one.
Just because people get out of the relationship doesn't mean that they really don't want to. It could just be the fact that it's just easier than like facing some things.
Like who? But even if it's easy, the fact that they're wanting out to begin with, easy or not, is an indication of something about the relationship. Like who wants to be in a relationship with somebody?
I think we'll be better off with more things explicit instead of implied.
You think what?
I think
marriage should just be a literal contract.
Wait. Explicit instead of implied. More things explicit, right, black and white on paper, rather than implied. What is it called? Like social norm. I want an explicit instead of social normalized, so people can know exactly what they agree to.
Well, you could certainly have that with a individual partner. You could write up your own.
Yeah, but I think we shouldn't have a shrink wrap license. I'm not a fan of that.
So like way back when, like thousands of years ago, like marriages were like they were about the whole community, like because they might like the marriage between one man and one woman might be the bridge between two families that would foster an enduring, like basically an alliance. Right, and extended. So like there's a lot of cultures in the world where if like one partner in a marriage dies and there is a single brother or sister on the other side of the other family, then that person will jump into the marriage if for no other reason than to maintain the family bridge, the bridges between families. Now this sounds like so like to Western individualist ears, this sounds like terrible, but it's like, if the focus is more so on the well-being of the community and not so much so on the well-being of the individual, like I don't know, like I had a few drinks, so
I don't. In Western society, especially a place like America, we tend to put the emphasis on the individual. Our society,
we do totally, But so like okay, imagine like okay, like you're in a situation like the old tribal systems, where like the marriages that they have, like they are so family based. Like, and I don't mean just the nuclear family. I mean the whole family, right? They're like that. So like to like end the marriage would just be so damaging to the families that it's basically not an option under it unless the circumstances are truly extreme. Well, if that's the circumstance, then yes, the marriage is kind of like a prison, right? You could frame it in that negative way, absolutely. But then it's like, okay, well, if we're stuck in this prison, then there's a motivation to be like, okay, look, we got to make the best of this. Like, like to like husband and wife, like look, like things are going well, but you and I, we have to work this out because neither one of us can leave. Um, and there's obviously pluses and minuses to that, but like, well, one thing, for example, is when you live in a culture where anyone can divorce you at any given time, that could be a major source of anxiety in itself, because certain people in marriages will be perpetually nervous that their spouse is going to leave them, and so you might not feel secure in your own marriage.
Right.
So yeah, I'm not like taking sides here in the issue. I'm just
no. It sounds like you're just pointing out that there's pluses and minuses. Like
yes, I'm
we had a more
exploring
secure foundation for marriages and stuff back in when those social traditions were more the norm. Now we have gone on from that. I think in some ways there's a lot of more advantages to the way we may have moved on, but that tradition itself was a glue that's just not there anymore. And so, or just like the idea that divorce. I mean, I don't think divorces should be outlawed or anything like that. I'm not saying anything of the sort, but I do see that if divorce isn't an option, it's not just these kind of relationships that may have serious problems and decide to work through them because of the family and everything like that. But today, with just the divorce thing being like this, people jump out of marriages before they've even had a chance to really, they first fight, the first or second fight, they decide like, oh, I just, or just whenever the oxytocin fades, and they simply lose the honeymoon phase, and then they think, well, then that marriage is dead. And if marriage isn't that easy and that common, then in those kind of societies, people were much less likely to split up and more likely to try to make things work. And and like some people, the honeymoon period could last until they've already had kids on the way, and then they're not feeling it anymore, and they think that's a good time to jump out. And I think that. Yeah, they might feel that way right then, but marriages have ups and downs. I mean, like you're not on a high the whole time. There's sometimes when it's going to head low, and you're not going to be feeling things the way you used to, and and that can be rough for people. That's why you need community in general as around that, because then you have people to build you up and help keep you supported there in those times. But we have lost that that community glue that used to make some of these things work. Once again, not saying that the individuality thing isn't better or necessary even for today's culture.
Yeah, no, I'm saying it's more so it's not an endorsement of it's an exploration of the ideas.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think that's a symptom of a lack of discernment in getting married in the first place. And I don't know that a healthy interpersonal relationship necessarily needs to depend on a larger community for its success or not.
It doesn't necessarily need to depend on a larger community for success, but the community being there is a healthy social fabric on which something like a marriage can be grafted onto and have a better chance of growing well.
Yeah, right. A healthy marriage to begin with can be, but a dysfunctional marriage or like a mismatch of two people that should be married in the first place, a community is only going to be able to do so much to hold it together.
Imagine the couple is very young, though. They don't even really know a couple that's very young.
I don't know. I don't have a lot of pity or sympathy for people that are that ignorant about.
Well, I'm saying, but someone who hasn't been in a lot of relationships, certainly not marriages, the first time they hit that lull, that the post honeymoon period in the relationship or their marriage, they might think, oh, it's just I just don't love them anymore. It's out, because they don't have that experience. They don't have that groundwork. So in a society where there's very little reason not to just divorce or something like that, especially if there's no kids involved yet, It's just and maybe that's fine. Maybe it's fine that people leave relationships like that. But I think it makes the overall social fabric that is dating and relationships, it makes it more tenuous and much more seeming like it's definitely going to be fleeting, and then people start expecting the relationships to end this way, and then they start projecting that into it. I'm just saying there's a psychological feedback loop there that starts with the individuality, whether we like it or not. I'm not saying that this way isn't superior, but there's always going to be negatives and always going to be positives to any kind of social dynamic
But
that's
I
placed.
think psychologically mature people know this, and they go into relationships ready to navigate that. And if you have people that are getting married that don't have that psychological maturity, all this negative stuff is going to happen anyway.
Well, then
And I
everyone's
think
going
it's
to need to
more,
wait till
it's
like
more of a
40
function of the
to get
individuals
married.
themselves. Huh?
Everyone's got to wait till like 40 to get married then, because most people don't reach
No,
any kind of psychological
no.
maturity in their 20s or 30s. I'm not saying
No.
that no one does, but a
Yeah.
lot of people don't. A lot of people do not gain emotional maturity until
Well, if you're
they've
going to
gotten
take on
divorced a couple
something,
times anymore.
if you're going to take on something as serious as marriage, the opportunities and the tools are certainly out there to develop it. If you take marriage that seriously.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I see
again,
what
I
you're
think
saying, but
it's a function of how invested or how serious the individual takes marriage to begin with.
sure, that might be the case. They might, but there is very little to take it that seriously in the society, the way society has treated marriage.
That's up to the
Um,
individual. Like each individual can determine for themselves how they
Well,
feel about
but
marriage.
marriage itself is a social idea. It's
There
a
are
social
plenty of
contract
models out
sorts.
there of healthy marriages that
And like, I wonder if it's easy. Like, maybe, like it's like, how do you if you're focusing marriage on marriage at a very individualistic level, without a significant degree of consideration for the broader community around you, like not just your own kids, but the families and everything. Like, and you're like in your hyper individualistic, that itself could inspire you to be like, I'm not fully happy about this marriage. There are problems. This is my one life I have to live. I should get out of this as soon as I can so I can find somebody better. Because like the longer I wait to leave, the more wasted time I have here, and the harder it's going to be to meet someone new. Whereas if you view your marriage as a sense of, once you make that commitment, it's a duty not just to your partner and to your like your kids if you have them, but to like, like the broader, like the people around you, like their family, your family, and everything. That might be what makes you be more likely to be like, look, this isn't just about me. And if it's not just about you, then it actually takes some of the pressure off you. You don't have to feel like I have to be like, everything has to be perfect most of the time or a lot of the time. You know what I mean? Like, if it's not just about you, then that actually might take some of the pressure off.
do we even have those type of communities anymore that depend on those kind of stable, healthy marriages?
No, I don't think we do. But I think he's just, I mean, unless I'm wrong, Ron, but it sounds like you're just pointing out the advantages of that kind of a system.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not saying that that's better, but it is a different, it has a strength in a different way, because that community sense of the relationship gives, you wouldn't be thinking about it like that. Your brain wouldn't be trained in the individualistic way if you were in that kind of a community type thing. You would be brought into this whole idea of like relationships and what they meant, and they were about probably, and usually relationships like them were also about creating families or partnerships between families, having children and stuff like that. So,
and in that kind of system that and in a way, I kind of actually am saying it might be better, but like but just because it's better doesn't mean I want to force anyone to do it. Right. You know what I mean? So,
but social situations like that are also the reason that there was so much animosity or pushback against gay marriage and stuff like that, was because that disrupted their overall, like, community relationship. Well, it did to them, because every person had like, a potential mate in the community or sort of that. And I'm just saying, like, I don't think it actually did have it was a threat, but people thought it was a threat because it was outside of what was considered normal or standard. It made people question, like, well, what's their purpose in the community, in a kind of like a tribal lizard brain kind of sense. They see that as someone who can't produce children, therefore they don't build the community anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's the way people's lizards' brains are thinking.
But their marriage should not be affected by that in any way.
I mean, I agree. I'm not
Like
talking about
the
marriage, I'm just
health,
talking about- I'm talking about communities.
success or failure of their marriage should not be affected by whether gay people get married or not. Like I think the
I
highest
agree.
unit of society, if it's not the individual, is at least a healthy relationship. But I don't think it needs to be a larger network of marriages outside of that. At least in modern Western
Yeah,
liberal
not in
society.
modern. No, it shouldn't be. I'm talking about older days. I'm not talking about modern. I'm saying that's the way it was, not what it should be like. I'm saying that that's just the way that's where those mentalities came from, and I was pointing that out to say that that's a negative of that kind of society. That negative societies like that were never as accepting of people who were different or outside that social dynamic. And that's where you get a lot of like, I mean, that's where you get a lot of like this even as something as counterculture as punk even would have been like that would have been a huge. That's the reason why people are against rock music. That's why they were against anything that disrupts these ideas, the old standard ideas of what society had to be. And even though I think that it was good to kind of tear some of that down, we did lose something in the translation in the process. That's
Here's
all.
a parallel idea. Here's something I've always found weird. This is parallel, but so you know how like, hey, so like women are the reproductive bottlenecks, right?
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so that's understood. And then on top of that, like there is few things in nature that are more dangerous than a man who is like basically an incel, right? Like a man who cannot pair up and has been marginalized by society because like that man feels like he has nothing to lose. And like, and I've read that in societies where there is greater degrees of social inequality, that's when you start getting like certain men getting so many women and a lot of men getting none. Those men start taking big risks because from in a Darwinian perspective, like it's like a big risk could kill them, but it could also get them to a big reward that could actually get them into the reproductive game. And in a Darwinian sense, if they don't make it in that game, they may as well be dead anyway, right? So from their perspective, that's now a viable bet, right? So, so there's that. But here's the question: why has society and people why have they been more hostile to gay males than lesbians? Like you would think that, and especially men. Like you would think that like men should be like, gay men, awesome, less competition for me.
Well, because lesbians are sexy.
You know, like you would
Two
think
women together is sexier.
but
Well,
no, it's true.
Society says that lesbians are sexy. The vast
No,
majority of
like
them.
erotically, porn wise, the men
Oh,
I
yeah,
know
yeah.
get really turned on by seeing two women,
But it's
or
real,
a man and two women.
there is to that. Although like yeah,
But no straight male is gonna watch gay porn.
no, but like it's like, but you see what I'm saying though. But like that aside, it's like I think there's been more societal hostility towards gay males than lesbians, and
I think in the past, maybe not now, not so much now, but
No, we're talking about past, but I don't think what he's saying. This is
yeah.
getting
But
at
even
the
then,
fact that
I don't.
male. Sorry.
I didn't experience that much in the abstract, maybe, but on a personal, individual level, not really.
Put it on screen, Jeff. Put it on screen. Check your DMs. Put it on screen.
But yeah, if anything, you'd think it'd be the opposite. You would think that like guys would be like, yeah, well, let's have as many gay guys as we want because every guy that goes gay is one fewer guy who's competing with me, right? But lesbians, that's a major threat because every time the woman is like turns out to be gay, that's one more woman.
So why is it? Why don't they think that? Because you're right. From an evolutionary instinct, it seems like it would evoke that.
Like that,
but it doesn't. So have they overcome their
because they're
evolution
still
that
viable wombs in an evolutionary sense, right? Because they're still, even though they're lesbians, there's always this thing that they could still produce children. The fact that two gay men cannot produce any offspring, wouldn't that be the Darwinian like evolutionary like
offspring is prioritized more than competition?
In a lizard brain sense, not in a conscious sense. I don't think people would think, but I think there's a lizard brain evolutionary sense.
Joshua wanted me to put this up
until.
Since you do not love me anymore, I'm going to scrub both bathrooms until you love me again. I said, I love you, honey. I love you all the time. Oh, this is actually you? Is this you and your wife?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know I didn't know I was showing her personal shit on my stream.
I
thought it was a meme.
This is how you get your
do not
way.
need to clean the bathrooms. Thank you for letting me off cleaning duty. But see, we don't have her response to this. You have 99 minutes.
I kind of want to call bullshit on you. I don't know if I believe this.
Why do you not? Yes, this is how I try to get out of cleaning duty. This is how you roll. You got to get in there psychologically, right? You have to have that
No,
plan
you
to
just
start off
openly,
with.
honestly
Get in there
communicate.
psychologically. Was that kind of considered toxic masculinity? You know, like getting out of house chores. Like, is that
Toxic,
I
Affirmative.
don't believe in
toxic
toxic
baitedness,
masculinity.
I
Oh,
don't know.
okay.
It's like, it was supposed to be you saying that since you do not love me, that was supposed to be your words, not hers. Or
Yeah, but who cares about love? I'm trying to get out of cleaning
Dude,
duty.
we don't
right?
know if he got out of
Right.
clean duty because we didn't see.
You're hilarious, Joshua.
You guys are worried about the wrong thing. Who cares about love? We care about who's having to scrub the bathroom, right?
You don't care about love?
Just be a man and scrub the freaking toilet.
Damn. He took my masculinity from me because I don't hold a toilet brush very well. I do it. I just don't admit to it publicly. Damn. Hank just cut me. That hurts. That hurts, Hank. That hurts.
He'd do that. He'd be that way. So yeah, that is a good point. I don't know why. Like, why is children taking priority in the lizard brain over? If that's the reason.
It's procreation. It keeps the species going.
But so
Because
does
from
competition.
Yes, but
Especially in the individual organism.
in the lizard brain, the evolutionary sense, if you don't procreate, you die. Your entire species
Right,
dies.
and the less
So
males you have to compete with, the more chance you have of procreating. So it seems like that would trigger.
it's just saying that it doesn't mean that that's true. There's less males to compete with, but still, in the sense of like being gay or not being able to produce offspring or not wanting to would be a negative, not a positive, in the species continuing way.
Maybe it's cultural. Maybe like the default lizard brain is to be happy that there's more gay people and less competition, but culturally, it's because homophobia is taught. Like no little toddler playing around is freaking out about.
We're talking about old
that's
tribal
as you
community.
absorb.
We're talking about old tribal community type things. So we're not talking about modern society. I'm talking about
talking about modern
people...
society. Like when you were talking about how gay men were more stigmatized, whatever, than lesbians, I took it as you were talking about the last 20 or 30 years.
Yeah, who
in here in
invented
American
homophobia?
society?
I basically just mean in my general experience, which would translate into roughly the interval you just said, Jeff.
We keep shifting from modern. We're talking about modern society to no. We're talking about thousands of years ago, and I'm not able to keep up with when the conversation shifts.
I'm sorry. That might be my fault, but I thought we were talking more about like a more built-in evolutionary sense of community and stuff like that. Maybe we were talking about modern things again.
Because I think even with the lizard brain, even if you go back several thousand years and look at different cultures, you're going to find variations and a great diversity of attitudes toward different social phenomena like homosexuality. So like that's what I'm saying. I think culture maybe modifies or overrides the lizard brain. So it's really hard to tell what the default would be.
Well, another consideration too is that we tend to be more protective of females. And so maybe that's interacting with this. Maybe that's why we don't go so hard on lesbians, because we're more protective. So we're not, you know,
more aggressive toward males. I always thought it was like fear of that the men may direct that onto other men, and more than it was about these guys are not having children, so let's bully them, or the women need protecting. I thought it was like a fear of sexual advances from gay people. Why people got so icked out.
It could also be guys, just like if a guy views another guy as being less masculine than him, i.e. less strong, but that's part of the stereotype, is that gay men are not strong and they're effeminate, but you know, and
a lot of them are. Honestly.
Yeah, like the stereotype probably takes it.
But there's a lot of effeminate straight, like the soy boys too. There's a certain expectation of masculinity of being strong for the tribe and dependable. You can depend on their strength, and
but in an older,
it's
more
like a
classic
betrayal
sense
of that ideal.
You're not attracted to feminine people.
I mean, I think people kind of look, maybe not now, but when I was growing up, people still looked down upon so-called soy boys that existed even back then, and they used to just call them things like pansy or wussy or whatever like that. I mean, like that, all that kind of thing can be societally looked down upon. So I don't know if it's necessarily that really changes that much. But I mean, I was talking about it in a classical sense, like a much older sense. But if we're talking about like currently, yeah, I mean, we're not really. The whole conversation got started with talking about, you know, way things were now, but we were trying to point out the way that, you know, things used to be, how it was certain things were easier, but how there's also a bunch of negative downsides to them, such as I was saying bigotry and the fear of outsider type thinking and everything was more connected to that kind of thing too, which is, you know, which I can say for myself, I would not have dealt well with that society either, because I never really fit into any kind of, you know, clean, easy societal role when I was growing up. So, you know, I would have been outcast in that same sense.
Although it's hard to say though, because in a different society, you would have developed differently.
That's true. Absolutely.
It's hard to say.
Yeah. Emerald,
but you still have your innate, like innate effeminacy or whatever. That
Emerald, you're being paged in chat. They want to hear your opinion about gay men. Tell us, what's your thoughts about gay men?
The panel is mostly men. Here,
I don't
here's
know.
the actual
I'm being put
question.
in the hot seat.
The panel is mostly men. What about a modern woman's POV regarding icky factor? Oh, you mean about lesbians?
No, because the topic was like gay dudes, right? I'm not going to give her the easy way out with lesbians, right? It's
well, that's what
exclusively
Canuck, I think that
dudes.
might be what Canuck was asking.
Yeah, like what exactly is it about?
The alleged anything. It's just anything.
I don't like anything. It's got to be difficult.
Opinion on
the societal ideas behind why some societies thought that gay men or women were icky, I guess is what he means. Like, what do you have any thoughts on that? On like way
from a modern woman perspective?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really have any thoughts. Like, I haven't really thought about it in general. I don't have a problem with like gay men or lesbians or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I haven't been in spaces where people. I mean, I've been in spaces where people are like hateful towards them, and I don't like that. But I haven't been in spaces where people, I don't know, think about it in like some kind of hierarchy or something. I don't know.
You got to get it. You got to get into it a little bit more. Here, I'll give you an example. See, I despise gay men. They set a standard. Yeah, they set this like standard that the rest of us assholes have to follow, like, you know, color coordination and shit like that, right?
I like that. I like the fashionable man.
I definitely don't.
Josh, has anyone ever told you that your personality is a 90s stand-up comedian?
It is.
This is true.
Airplane.
I'm just saying, if it's gotta be like, you know, a hot seat, get into the hot seat. Do it.
I'm just expecting you to do like
standards of handsomeness. I can't keep up with this shit.
Yeah, see, this is a problem.
Even though they're not competing with me, they're still fucking bringing me down. I don't like it.
Because if women can compare you to a nearby gay guy and they're still thinking that you're inferior despite the fact you don't want to have sex with them, yeah, that's kind of a problem.
And then
more
because he's playing the ultimate game of, you know, hard to get.
Right.
Pretty much. Yeah.
So he's better dressed than me. He's playing hard to get for life.
In the bathroom.
And you know,
his bathroom is spotless.
She's probably thinking she can change him, but it is gay, so it's never going to work. So she literally will be chasing him for life. There's nothing, you know. That's how hags are created, right?
Hey, we just figured out
Emerald,
where hags come from.
Yeah,
Emerald,
that's their origin story. That's all of it. Yeah.
Emerald, do you like kind of agree with our takes or disagree, or like, you know, how does that make you feel?
Which take?
All of the negative ones toward homosexuality. Like the competition.
I'm against those.
None of us said anything negative about homosexuality.
I did. I was complaining.
Yeah, you did. I had to defend Jeff.
I mean, forget Jeff. Jeff he's a big boy. He can take it.
No, he can't.
Yes, he can.
Oh, absolutely can. It's not the worst thing I've ever heard. Plus, I don't. I don't. I am not one of the gays he's talking about. I'm not setting the standard for anybody.
Okay.
And Hag,
Well, I don't know.
I can help you. So just reach out to me. I can help you if you're a Hag.
Yeah.
Can help you wear
Oh,
a hat.
you can help Joshua.
I have to disagree with you,
Yeah, I
Jeff.
could probably help him too.
I have to disagree with you, Jeff. See, your shirt doesn't have wrinkles in it. Mine does. This is a problem,
Oh,
right?
thank
No woman's looking at me.
Dude,
They're like,
I
"Oh,
put
you
my
fucking
clothes
slob."
come off of the floor, whatever's lying on the floor when I get out of the shower. I am not.
Joshua, your problem is that
no.
you're married.
I have a solution for you, Josh.
Why you gotta get personal, Chris? Why you gotta get
Bring a
personal?
second wife, that would save your marriage somehow.
Well, save it.
Yes.
Oh, damn. Now we're going back. Oh, we're going back into bad advice. Okay, how do I save my marriage?
An extra
You
wife.
can't.
You seem to like it. Like you.
In
You
actual
light up
life?
when you talk
Are you in
about
a
it.
bad marriage? I'm
Does
confused.
she have a sister?
Yes, she has a sister.
Tell her that you have a sister wife now.
I tell her all kinds of things. Get my ass beat to it. I learned that frying pans hurt really. Like they're really bad. That's a good solid object.
Yeah, I'm gonna send her a cast iron for Christmas.
Oh,
She-
God.
That's right.
My-
Joshua lives in the
Joshua, where are you
honeymooners, I
from?
think. I think he lives in a Vietnamese honeymooners or something like that. He's got like the flying pans throwing. I mean, are you Andy Cap? I mean, what the fuck?
I'm in survival mode. I mean, it's really what it boils down to.
Where are you from, Joshua?
I was born on a Homestead Air Force Base, somewhere around like age 10, 11, somewhere in there. I moved to upstate New York.
Okay, because if you were from the South, I was going to ask you if you and your wife were to divorce, would she still be your sister?
Damn. Yeah, I don't know how those laws work, you know. But I will next time when I get back down to Alabama, I'll make sure to like test that theory out. We'll
There you go,
figure
man.
it out.
Get back to me. Let me know.
Yeah. This is all about learning. This panel's all about learning, right? Like I'm
But
good with
yeah,
that.
I think we should do straight eye for the queer guy on Jeffrey's attire. So I gotta say, Jeff, for a heterosexual, you look fine, but for a gay guy, you look homeless. Like your clothing attire, man.
Yeah, you're not meeting these 90s standards that we had here.
You're not color coordinating. You know, your hair color doesn't match your shirt color. You could be doing better.
Good. That will probably filter out all of the.
How am I doing?
Let
How am
them
I
think
doing,
I'm
Ron?
But you have hair. Cool.
Right there.
Yeah, you're looking good, man. You're looking good. You got the purple going. You got the fedora. What more could you ask for?
Emerald, how do you feel about dudes wearing fedoras?
I mean, they're okay.
Don't
classy.
lie. Don't lie. You can say what you really think.
I'm not
Yeah,
lying. I
know
think
what
about
women
it.
think about fedoras.
See, this is the
think
problem
they're
around here.
cool.
We can't have honest conversations among the
I'm
different
being
genders.
honest.
It's a
I told
problem.
you were giving bad advice, didn't I?
Well, oh yeah, but I'm an easy target, right? Like anybody can throw shit at me.
You're in survival mode. I forgot.
Damn.
Oh man. I think you
Yeah,
look
Hank
just
looks-
fine in your fedora, Hank, but my wife would tell
Yeah, they
you
look
and any
good.
person in a fedora that they should not do that. So
I love it.
Why?
I'm a
Bring
big
her on.
Andy.
Bring her on. I want her to say it to me. I want to hear
oh,
from
she's
her.
in bed. So.
Oh, never mind. Maybe later.
I doubt it. You'll be on stream again, and I'll have her tell you what she thinks about fedoras next time whenever we see you on stream and I'm on there.
And
I'll make
speaking
sure
of,
to
what
remember.
time do you want to stream tomorrow?
Excellent.
Because I'm pretty much open.
Yeah,
Except
anytime
Machine might be doing his thing in the
Yes.
evening.
later. Right?
Yeah,
guys stream
Machine
every
Lies
day?
is doing his tomorrow instead of today, which is why all of us are here. Jeff, Chris, and I are here because Machine is not here.
Yes, Emerald. We pretty much stream every day because we don't have anything else to do.
Oh yeah, we stream every. Sometimes
Except for
more
me,
than
I
one.
have a job. I did 9 hours a day over
Well,
to
we
Jeff.
see you an awful lot on here.
Yeah, it's I'm gotten good at sketching stuff, so that's why I can.
Ouch.
Furry
I don't.
suits, no.
I don't know
I don't
how
have
to
one.
Come on.
I just found Emerald's
I have
line.
furry
I
friends.
just have fox ears, and I think a foxtail. I
have
had this for an
beautiful-
anime convention and haven't worn it since.
I'll bet you anything. Emerald's not going to show her closet. I guarantee you, she's not going to do it. How much
I'm
clothes
not
do you have, Emerald?
furry.
She d-
Oh, I have a lot of clothes. I have 3 closets.
Holy living fuck!
I also have 3 closets.
Holy living.
Come
These
on,
are
I
just
do
hats,
have.
though. He just has hats, and all of them are stacked. What? We know you're a hat aficionado. It's okay. I mean, no one knows what's said about that. I'm just saying you have 3 closets full of hats. I'm sure.
No, I had some take that much space, Chris.
Well, actually, they take up more space than regular clothes 'cause they don't stack right just normal. You have to stack them carefully. You might need hat boxes for some of them. I mean, that can take a lot of space.
Okay,
just joking, Hank.
Okay, let's educate Chris again. Look, where is it? There you go.
I figured
not
you
that- it's
had,
not
you
the
do
same
have more
number
hats
Chris.
there.
Wow.
That's funny.
Damn, I'm kind of like a little jealous. I'm a ball cap guy, but like I've only got like 2 pairs. Yeah,
You
I get
need
any more.
more.
I
God,
can't.
that's all.
No, my old lady absolutely hates hats. If I put one on, she'll like take it off, chunk it across the house, kind of thing. Like, it's like-
Why is
She
she
just
so
hates-
violent?
Well, because she's a commie. They kicked the shit out of us in the war, right? So, like, I mean, what the hell?
Comments wear hats. They have nice hats.
Oh, yeah.
Like
Just wear
berets
common
or
hats.
something, right?
Maybe that's what I'm doing wrong. Instead of a ball cap, maybe I should
So
get like a
you're
fedora.
at the mercy of
Yeah,
women.
peak
Your
cap.
mom,
Put
your
a peak
wife.
cap on.
Oh, yeah. Like that. This is the history of my entire family going back like 180 years. Yeah, women dominate.
Well, at least you're not effeminate.
Joshua is a time traveler. He's a 90s stand-up comedian that was transported here one day, and he's just trying to figure out what's going on, you know? It's,
Yeah.
it's okay.
My real name's not Joshua Jones. It's really perpetual confusion. That's my real name.
So
Wow,
put
this-
one of those on, and I
We've been
think you'll
streaming
be
for 3
fine.
hours? I didn't even realize.
Oh yeah, we did go long today.
It's been a fun stream. It's been fun talking.
Let's try like late afternoon tomorrow, maybe.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah,
3.
I'm gonna miss
4.
it. Sorry.
Yeah, like 3, maybe. Well, about 5 your time or 4.
All
It
right.
depend. You know, I'll put it for 5, but we'll see what time machine is going because he usually
Okay.
starts about that time.
On
Yeah,
Yeah.
it starts around 9, I think. Today. But are you on his Discord yet, Jeff?
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. But he said he was going to start 9.
Yeah.
I don't know what time zone he's in though.
It's in
I'll have-
Detroit, I
No,
think.
no, Detroit. So he's in Central Time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that'll be
he's
my 10.
Eastern. I think
Yeah,
it's
that's
Eastern.
Eastern. I
Detroit
think.
Eastern? Okay. No, Dearborn. Yeah, it's Eastern. Yeah. So it's gonna be 9 EST, I guess.
I'll have to apologize now because like I won't be able to attend. So like I don't know. Will you accept like a parent's note or something for
I don't
excuse
know
my absence?
I don't
No,
think he
doctors
might
know.
not even
Your
notice.
parents are good enough. You
It'll be
get
like you were
doctors'
never gone.
Damn, Jeff says it doesn't matter whether you're here. Fuck you, go away. What the hell?
Oh,
See, Emerald, see, he dishes it out too.
just like your wife.
Yeah, this is how I know I feel at home.
You
This
can't
is
put up with
true
that
love.
treatment.
But you
gotta
seem
stick
okay
up for
with it.
yourself.
Like I've never seen someone more well adjusted to this
Yes.
kind of mistreatment from so many
That's
That's
a
people.
good thing.
awful.
Yeah, once you're subject to abuse, you kind of get used to it. You're just like, oh, well, do it to me, daddy. I mean, that's a thing. It just,
Healthy difference.
yeah.
If you endure any kind of torture for long enough, it just becomes a fetish. It's easy.
Yeah, pretty much it is.
That's awful.
This is true.
Also, who's Machine? Is that a YouTuber?
Oh, the
Affirmative.
machine lies. Yeah.
Machine
Okay.
lies.
Yeah, he's a YouTuber.
Yeah, I don't know him.
Just like you now. Now you're one of us.
Where's the
panel
exit?
Part
I
of-
always forget this is live and people. I don't know how many people are watching
I
it,
know that happens.
but I always forget it's
Oh,
live.
happens.
but pretty much.
Yeah.
But see you soon, Emerald.
Yes, it was nice meeting you. I hope I didn't
I think
offend
he
you
would-
with the furry comment, by the way.
Are you a furry?
Ooh, me. No.
Oh,
I thought you said
Wait,
you
what-
had
what?
a fursuit, or did I?
I have furry friends. Like it's just
Hear
part
that.
of the.
Well, I gotta ask. That was an awful long pause to answer that. Why was there a thought in there?
have
I
thoughts
mean,
of
just
being a
because I
furry?
think before I say things, unlike you.
Oh, that. Damn, this is true. I think Hank, I think you understand the problem in my marriage. I really think you understand me, bro.
I think it's gonna fix your marriage.
I don't want to fix it.
but
I
you
just
need
want to
to get
understand
that
how it works.
cap. I gave you a link in the private chat. That's what they look like. Get a peaked cap. Communists like it.
Get a peak cap. Oh, I gotta go look. I gotta go look now.
just like a captain's hat, like an admiral's hat in the Navy or something.
Oh,
Yeah.
they like the yeah. They like the red star. There's a big red star usually on it, right? Like that's
Yeah,
the thing.
there you go.
Yeah, get one like that.
Yeah, but
You think
I
it's
couldn't wear
cute?
one of those. I just couldn't.
Just try it. Try it. It's comfortable.
No, they're not comfortable.
I think Hank's forming a philosophy where he can see a solution to any problem
Yeah.
solved by a hat. He's
That's the solution.
Like Kirby.
it's just a matter of finding the right hat for you in your situation, and if we can find that, then we can solve your life. So
Yeah, Kirbyism, I guess.
all right, so 3 or 4 then? 3 maybe?
I don't know. What are you up for?
3's good for me.
3 your time or my time?
Yeah, 3 to my time. 3 my time.
That's what we normally stream.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that
Oh,
should work.
I was gonna do a little bit later.
Okay, let's do normal then. 4, I mean. Let's do 4 then.
I'm out tomorrow. I don't have a scheduling conflict.
All right. Cool.
You want to trade, Hank? I'm not off tomorrow. Like, you go do my job for me.
Here's the thing. Are you prepared to work like 45 hours a week and to clean up after everyone's mess
yes.
stupidity?
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no way
No,
you work
that's impossible
45
because you want
hours
really
and are
clean
on
the
the
bathroom.
streams
That's
as
bullshit.
often as you are.
You're not willing to clean the bathroom. It's bullshit.
Oh no, I'm incredible. Well, I kind of got like a decent thing going on. Like I know how to irk my way out of house chores. Like I'm working on it. Well, I'm getting better at it. We'll put it that way.
Yeah, we saw your game.
Yeah, that was some game you got spit in there.
It's what it's about. I don't know why everybody's so obsessed with love, right? It's all about getting out of the house chores. It's the name of the game.
I say no.
Whoa, why are you
Just
shaking
do
your
the
head,
bathroom.
Emerald?
I
It's
can't
not
do
be a big
chores
deal.
anyway.
I don't agree with that.
Oh, okay, Emerald. What am I doing wrong?
Everything.
Oh, shit. Damn. Well, she is a therapist. Technically,
I'm just joking. You're not doing everything wrong.
she's probably
You're
right.
doing it too slow.
You seem happy to me. Like I wouldn't think.
Well, see,
if there's
what's my
anything wrong.
options, right? There's live in fear or death, right? You just kind of
Well,
like
for
take-
someone living in fear, you seem very happy.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, yeah.
He got possessed by the spirit of Rodney Dangerfield, dude. So you gotta.
That makes sense.
He says, "Take my wife," please, and all that shit. Yeah.
Only for a few hours.
Yeah. Anyway. Well. Okay. Well, I guess we're wrapping up then. Is that what we're doing?
All right,
Yes,
guys.
we can.
5
Everybody
more
else.
hours, just like me.
Can I make a request?
Yes.
So if Emerald's like a therapist, like basically, I think we ought to like give her some practice, right? Like
She got some
She's
practice.
had
Diagnose
plenty of
you. I
practice.
don't know if there's.
okay, Emerald.
Cut out
So
for
what
that.
we're gonna do is on one of these streams, right? Like I'll let you dissect my relationship, right?
Oh, I want to do that.
Yeah, see, it'll be good practice.
I love
bro.
analyzing
We're
things.
doing. Chris and Emerald and I are starting a relationship We're gonna do weekly relationships.
And you'll be our
No.
first guest.
Yes,
Maybe our
I'm
only
serious.
one
I'm
ever.
serious.
I-
We've been talking about this for a while.
It was the tone of the word guest that bothered me. I think she meant victim.
Yeah,
I
victim.
don't. Oh, okay.
See, he gets me. He understands.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a therapist in training. I'm a peer
Yeah.
counselor. Ron's a cognitive psychologist. Chris might be.
I'm happily married, so
Yeah, he's happy. He has a successful marriage.
Okay, so just to be clear, a therapist in training, the acronym for that would be TIT. Just putting it out there.
Okay, that's fine.
Emerald. I
Not
reckon.
gonna lie, that's quite useful information.
well, if you ever hang out with other, TITs, then Emerald, you can always say that you're gonna show other people your tits,
Oh my
And
god.
then,
I got beads.
and then you introduce them to your friends, and they're all like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess you would have beads, wouldn't you, Jeff, for being from New Orleans?
I got garbage bags. I only brought one up here, but back home we have like
Well, I
attic
guess
fulls of beads.
is it
I
like
just
issued to
think
you at a
that
certain
is-
age, or are you
No,
born?
you catch them
issued
in
a thing
Mardi
of
Gras.
beads?
They just accumulate like with big, giant, hefty bags full of beads.
Well, you're probably
What?
every time someone gives you them, you're just like, I'm gay. I have no use for this, like at all.
Oh,
No, I wouldn't say no use.
I've gotten many a beads from gay people.
Yeah.
Aren't you supposed to like use them to decorate or something?
You can. Not
They
up here.
decorate.
Back home they do. Yeah.
It doesn't, and
It
I do
makes-
just
yeah,
hate how
it would
all
make our
parades
buses more
adopted this bead thing. They are always throwing those cheap plastic beads,
Who's
and it's
here
like
now?
Hey,
that's
hey,
not what they're
Jeff,
for,
I have an idea.
It's supposed to be payment
get-
for tits. But,
You get a couple shit piles of beads and you decorate the area that was forming the Chaz with Mardi Gras beads.
It could use it
Exactly.
for sure. I wouldn't waste my beads on Seattle though at all.
Yeah.
But
So
yeah,
every
that's
time
not
you
a bad
move,
idea.
you
for somebody
every
that
time you
wanted
move, you carry this giant sack of beads around with you.
Yeah, at least one. I had to bring at least one. I left all the rest behind because I knew there wouldn't be any
I've
up
been there.
here, so I knew I had
Yeah.
to come with my own beads.
You can just go to like a store and buy them though, right?
There's that good documentary about the companies in China that make the beads. It's fascinating.
I haven't seen that. I did watch a whole series of documentaries with the whole mystery behind what glitter is made of or whatever. Not what it's made of, but like there's this whole conspiracy thing about the fact that oh, bye.
Oh, take care,
Take care, Rob.
Let's see.
I guess.
Bye.
We're winding down anyway. Maybe. Let's see where the glitter conversation goes.
No, it's like this
So there's
weird
a glitter
conspiracy. Where this,
conspiracy?
it's not really a conspiracy. It's like an actual mystery. There was this lady doing a documentary about glitter and where it comes from, stuff like that. And while she was doing this, she was interviewing this lady that was showing around the factory, and she asked the lady doing that she was interviewing, like, well, what's your biggest client for? And the lady got all sold up. She's like, oh, I can't tell you that. And she's like, what do you mean? She's like, they wouldn't like it if I told you that, and it sparked this whole like what the hell is glitter's biggest client?
I want to know too. Oh wait, the Great Glitter Conspiracy Revealed.
Yeah, there's several
MSN.com.
videos. There's a whole.
I think I
big
have
documentary.
situational evidence to solve the glitter conspiracy. Wow, it is a conspiracy. Wow.
Yeah, I bet it's the CIA.
They think it's the U.S. military more than likely. They say that they use some form of glitter as chaff or something.
Yeah.
This is one of the
yeah.
theories. Construction materials, the funeral industry.
That's just depressing. The funeral industry, everybody's throwing a party. We got throwing glitter
The
everywhere.
leading theory right now is
They're just
boat
like
paint.
stuffing the bodies
Why
with
would
glitter,
she-
like
No, that's
sawdust. You
expensive.
know?
It's the military. It's part of the U.S. military.
Yeah,
Plus, this
certainly.
came from a woman, and they're probably taking it way too seriously.
You hear that, Emerald? you heard that? You heard what he
one person
said?
is for the glitter bombs.
He says he doesn't value the opinion of a woman.
Well, I know. He values my opinion.
I do. Emerald's
I'm special. We already had
proven
that.
herself
Yeah.
to be a rare
Oh.
exception. Plus, she's the modern American.
I'm
woman,
his
so-
exception. Every woman's dream. So
all these passive people, right? Like you just can't start.
We have a
Just
few.
get started
We've
in here.
had a few women show up on the stream that were Sarah and Emerald. Very cool. People I'm proud to claim as friends.
yeah. He hates the rest of the world of
I
women.
did MGTOW for a while, and I let people like Emerald back in slowly. So,
Yeah, slowly.
so far, so good.
Yeah, I guess that's probably. Yeah, I definitely the.
I mean, being gay would be the original Big Towel, right? Men going their own way.
Maybe so.
Oh my God.
I'm gig
It's
time.
technically true. Shit.
I mean, it kind of makes sense to me. That's actually what I thought it meant the first time I heard men going their own way. I thought it was like just like some weird slang for being gay, and I didn't understand why I was hearing it. It's like in this day and age, you know, I was like, why are they making
No, I
up
think
new
it's-
slang?
Yeah,
for being
definitely
gay?
after they tried it a bit.
It's a reframing of incel.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
it's
was
that-
just
He
joking
says
about
bullshit with his stupid.
just
"Oh,
because the
I'm
literal
gonna marry
term
my
"men
dog."
going their own
Stupid.
way," if you just interpret that literally, that's all.
Yeah.
Yeah, but, Emerald, what's your take on men going their own way?
What do you mean?
Like, yeah,
Like
the
turning
whole,
their back on women as a whole?
Well, yeah, their whole movement thing. Like, what's your take on
For
that?
reasons.
I mean, I think it's extreme on one end, but then I also get it and understand it on another end. So it's like, I don't know. I have mixed feelings about it.
So nuanced, just so nuanced.
That I am very nuanced. That's why it's hard for me to give.
That's a good therapist answer.
It's tough. I can't give like a black and white answer on things. It's like a curse.
Well, here, let me help you. Here, let me help you. They suck. There you go. See how that works?
Through
It's all-
MGTOW,
it's
are the women driving them to go their own way?
Yeah.
Like they're not just suddenly deciding to go their own way for no
There's
reason.
a
Yes,
little bit of
they're
column A, a
fucking
little bit of
away.
column B.
They sit their own way and can't find a way back.
Yeah,
they-
pretty much.
Yeah,
they
some
take
don't
them
want
and
to come
go.
back. I grew up in a matriarchy. I am not in a rush to go back. Plus, I
get
pretty
that.
much live in one now up here.
I have a lot of controlling women in my family, so I get men wanting to do that.
Well, that answers the in-law question now. Now she talks about her mom, right? So why do you
No,
wait till the end of the stream to answer my question? This is
It's a
not fair.
doorknob confession. It's a
Oh,
therapy
yeah.
thing.
Ah, damn it.
You dropped the juiciest knowledge at the end.
Some marketing shit. And I'm a tactician.
That's
I'm
what we
supposed
should
to know
call
this
our-
shit,
our
right?
show.
You snuck one in on
Jump
me.
on it.
Damn.
It all comes full circle.
This is true. This is true. This is true.
Any other doorknob confessions before we end? Get them in now.
Someone else do one. Hank, do you have one?
No, I don't do that. It's a waste of my money.
What?
Oh, he
The
means
waste-
therapy. He's very soured on therapy.
Okay.
Oh, you don't like therapy?
No,
Negative.
no, partly because
Why?
he,
Wait, now I'm
he's not
curious.
going to the right kind of therapist.
Have you
Yeah,
had
but you
negative
can't.
experiences?
We can't
He needs a
filter
massage
through
therapist.
the kind of therapist because their acronyms are ridiculous. They don't find their terms well enough. And yeah, it's just shooting in the dark to hit one, but it costs $100 to try. Oh, my
You're not talking
Well,
about a
the
sex
good
therapist,
ones will
right?
give you a
Yes.
consultation. Like you shouldn't have to pay $100 just to try a therapist out.
That's
Emerald,
where you
how much,
shouldn't have to do it,
ha-
but have to
Emerald-
be this way for they to make a profit. So
Emerald, how much is a session with you? Is it $100? Cheaper, lower, higher? I don't know
I
what the
don't have
prices
a
are.
price right now. I'm training.
Oh,
So it's
well,
free.
here's the thing, Josh. With that, I'm in the United States. With the way medical insurance works, nobody knows what the price is.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, to be fair, like I'm in your group. I don't particularly like therapy. I'm in therapy, but I don't like it.
You don't like it? Do you
Well,
benefit from it?
Yeah, I'm a
This is him
tactician.
in therapy.
Yeah,
I hate to
I'm
see
a
it.
tactician. The
Okay.
complete polar opposite of a clinician, right?
Yeah.
So
Because
like
you
my
have a degree in psychology too, right?
Yeah. My entire education job is all revolved around manipulation. Literally. I mean, so like, the whole idea of sitting down and
Oh,
paying
you're
some-
marketing.
He's been manipulating this entire conversation.
Yeah.
Past
this is
couple of
this
hours.
is horrible. That just get called out.
He's our,
He's trying to
stream's
manipulate
very own
me.
That's your
Machiavelli.
brain work.
It's a Machiavellian 90s stand-up comedian. That's who Joshua is.
So I mean, like I think I think actually that would be a good show there, Jeff. I think she should do the whole like psychoanalyzing my marriage. This might be actually.
Yeah, let me know when you get back from Lebanon.
I'm
we'll
here
do
for it.
Yeah, I'm only
We're
gone for
gonna
like
make
10,
it a
14
weekly
days.
feature.
Yeah, I'm only gone for like 10, 14 days at max. I'm thinking more like 4 or 5, but we'll see. They don't ever tell us anything. They
Well,
just
I
say,
hope it goes well for you. I hope there's a little bit of fun in there, and I hope.
yeah, I
you
want pictures.
Eat some good food.
It is food I'm a little scared of, though. That's the only thing. I've heard
Ooh,
they've had really
Lebanese
good
food
food,
is
but
delicious.
What kind of food
Yeah.
is it?
Yeah, I've had Lebanese food. I don't know
Like
anything about Lebanon, but I've had
Mediterranean.
Lebanese food and it's very good. So
What are your
Lamb.
favorite dishes?
dog,
Spinach.
cat, whatever
Dog,
like
cat,
walking around in the
what?
street.
What?
I didn't know what a single thing I was called that I was eating, so I have no idea what my favorite dishes are.
No, I
Somebody
like
gave
the
me this food and I
Tripoli.
just ate it. So
Yeah, I like the Tripoli and I like the kebab.
I don't like fast food. That is one thing I really. Now I like Taco Bell every once in a while. Like when I go back
love Taco
stateside.
Bell.
Yeah,
About as
that's
fast
my-
as it goes.
Yeah, that's my one thing, one time. So in 6-month period of time, I'll get Taco Bell once, right? It's more like symbolic thing. But aside from that, I really don't. I don't screw around with fast food too much.
Me neither.
I like to cook. I just
Except for
hate burning
fries.
my kitchen down. That's a problem.
Is that what you asked me if I can cook?
Yes, that's the whole interest I would have in women is because I don't starve to death.
Well, I can cook. You just have an Instant Pot. Just
Yeah,
throw
Hank cooks
whatever
good.
you
He
want
posts
in there.
pictures of his food. It looks good.
Yeah, you throw
That's
whatever you
awesome.
want in the Instant Pot, and you pour out and you eat it, or you pour out and boil it, and then you eat it. It's very easy.
Sounds complicated.
We got to teach Joshua how to cook.
Yes, I do.
If he's willing to
And
learn.
how
I
to
don't think
clean.
he's willing to learn. He just wants to manipulate.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
see?
teach how to cook
See?
and how to clean.
I
Emerald
love
gets me.
cooking, but
But luckily, I'm a trainer, so I can
can't
do
it very
that.
much anymore.
I think Emerald gets me. I actually think this whole this will work. We'll have to do a stream for this here. Get her some
Not about a
practice. In
peaked cap.
a pink
don't get-
cap.
What?
Yeah, if you don't get a peaked cap, it won't work.
Oh, peach
A-
cap. Yeah,
a
yeah,
peach
yeah.
cap. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, how will you ever know if he ever has it, Hank? He doesn't come on camera, so
I
we'll
know.
never know if he has the peak. He could say he could have one on right now. We
He's trying to have
wouldn't
the
even
whole
know. He's just-
mysterious vibe.
I know.
Right,
he's-
try to
he's
prove that you
all
have
mysterious
one.
stranger.
I post photos in Discord. I just don't do the on live stream. Like my face, that's a job
Yeah.
problem. Like
Because
that's
he's
I'm just
wanted,
seeing you post the
probably.
photo.
I understand that.
yeah. I got this whole serial killer thing going, and I'm really
I thought
hunting down
so.
YouTube streamers. Thanks for the
Believe it.
invite, guys. I'll catch up soon.
Yeah, get in line. There's a whole bunch of people who claim to want a piece of me. So get in line.
Damn.
Damn. Who's after you?
But that ghostly moron. Who else? I'll think it's
Unitarians.
everything online. Well, I wasn't paying too much attention anyways. I probably eliminated them already.
All right, guys. Well, I think I'm about wound down now. So
This was a long stream. It went in so many different ways.
Yeah,
wasn't
3.5
expecting
hours.
Bring
That's
us
good
in.
though. I wanted to do more long streams, so this is good.
Yeah.
And so we'll stream tomorrow afternoon, and then Thursday sometime, and then Friday we're watching Eyes Wide Shut and doing a discussion afterwards.
And then we got to do the show with Joshua in 10 to 12 days, you said?
Yeah, and then we'll do the
yeah, we'll work that out.
relationship post-mortem in
Postmortem.
a couple of weeks.
We got some fun. Yeah.
All right, guys.
That'll be
Okay,
fun.
well, it's good hanging out with everyone. This is fun.
Yeah.
We'll do it again
Good
tomorrow.
talking to everyone.
All right. Take care, guys.
Thanks, everyone.
I'll bring my parents' absentee permission slip back when I get back.
I need,
Okay.
we need to
Travel
talk to somebody.
safely, and
I'm gonna
We
need it
need
in
doctor's
triplicate.
note.
So
In triplicate. Gee, so formal.
All right. Goodbye.
Take care, guys.
Their rules, not
Okay.
Yeah.
mine. I don't have rules. So, okay.
Nice
bye.
meeting you.
All right,
See you later, Jeff.
Take care, Hank. I'll see you later.
Wait, do you still do the outro music? I was waiting for it.
Yeah, I was gonna play it out right now. I'm gonna do
Okay,
some
I
rock.
want to stay for it.
Oh, let me turn my banner off.
How many people are watching? Like, I can't see anything.
Well, it shows 2 on the count, but the count's sometimes off.
Okay. We'll see how the date goes tomorrow. Fingers crossed.
Yes, and tell us about it on Friday, and then
I'll text you tomorrow. I'll text you before and after to make sure I'm alive.
okay.
Because you know I do attract crazy people.
yes,
So
yes, I do know the type of people.
this
we
isn't like
attract.
being dramatic.
No, it's yes, so it's
Yeah.
very real. It's a very real concern.
Yeah.
Yeah, do that, and then I'll see you for Friday on a Eyes
What
Wide
time?
Shut. and then
5?
Yeah, 5 year time. And I'm gonna put it as an event in PF Ewing's Discord, so maybe we'll get more people. And then we'll do the discussion after as usual.
Sounds good.
Alrighty, well, it was fun,
Yeah, it was fun.
and I hope it goes well. I hope it's a normal date, or at least
I
a
hope
positive
so.
experience, and to turn around the last few string of dates. And
Yeah.
I look forward to hearing about it on Friday.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Well, take care.
Take care. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. We'll be back tomorrow.
Stay